Hey, everybody. Hello, Ruel. Is everything going
Hello,
fine?
hello, Richard. Yes, things are going fine. Well, so far so good. We all know what happens with our audio and video whenever we press that go live button.
Yep.
So, friends in chat, if you could just confirm you can hear us, you can see us, and everything is okay, we would appreciate it.
Yes. Actually, yep, the RVR we did with Jen the other day went off pretty much without a hitch, except for the one major hitch of everything failing right at the beginning. Um, Man, I had so much fun playing that game the other day. I am still kind of buzzing about it. I might have to
I
rank
did
that game
too.
pretty high in my monthly roundup. Quite frankly, it was so good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. It was better, a lot better than I expected. Let's put it that. It was fun playing with you both, but just the game itself. Because I like Dixit, but I don't know, just something about this new version I really enjoyed. I think it was that like sort of push your luck type of thing that we had going there.
Yeah. Oh, somebody's asking in the chat. Oh, first timer, Tyven, Friday. Was it Friday? Ruel,
Oh,
Jen, and I all played Dixit, no, Stella, a Dixit Universe game. Stella is the Italian word for star. I don't know why they wanted to create that level of confusion. They could have called it Starry
I did not know
Nights,
that.
a Dixit game,
Okay.
would have been a better title for it, but
Yeah.
whatever. And we had fun. And for everybody who showed up, after we did one round, just me, Jen, and Ruel, for the rest of the game, the entire audience got to play because Ruel, team captain, took info from everybody. And yeah, it was, I think everybody had a really good time with it. Oh, thank
Yeah,
you,
that was a lot
Emerson,
of
for the
fun.
subscribe. Thanks, Kate and Vader, for the resubscribe. Hooray. Look at that.
All right.
Those cursed little avatars are not dancing like they're supposed to. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
I thought I had looked into it, and I suppose it was first time. Tyven's a long time first time. Long time listener, first time caller. Tyven been watching since the NES days. What does that mean? The Nintendo
NES
Entertainment System
days.
days? What do you mean, Tyven?
Really?
What are you talking about?
Have you been doing this longer than I thought?
You've been following me since I was a student at the University of Washington, working as a gameplay counselor at Nintendo. That seems unlikely.
Wow. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I need to get my featured chat up and running. Open it in a new window so we can keep track of that.
Oh, Tyven said,
Oh
since your game.
no, I was not in the video game industry long enough to make games for the NES. But I did make PSX. My PSX days, my PlayStation 1 days. Yep.
Nice.
Although no, actually, I was fairly under the radar. It wasn't until, through most of my career, the publishers always wanted to get me in front of the camera, and I was always hesitant to do it.
Really?
Yeah, and then at Lionhead they really pushed me. Like, you have Peter Molyneux pitching the game. You don't need me pitching the game. And it wasn't until I went to Splash Damage, and Fable 2 had been such a monster hit, and Flash Damage was such a small, it was such a big deal for them to get me, because I was at like my peak hotness in the industry after Fable 2, that I finally relented and said, okay, I will start doing press for my games. And turns out I was really good at it.
Yeah.
Go figure. I shouldn't have avoided it all those years. Probably some of the other games might have done a little better too. Right. Okay. So, right. Everything's going fine. Yay. Oh, and again, Emerson and Kate and Vader, thank you very much. We had such a great time doing the last RVR. Can't wait to do the next one as more people subscribe. And did you know you can, again, people who get here early already know about Amazon Prime subscribe. We should mention that later, or maybe even after the show is over. But yeah, you can subscribe. You can get all kinds of cool stuff. You can get the avatars. You can get the merch discounts. You can get the secret words. Oh, speaking of, let me take one last look to make sure there aren't any last second entries for the contest. I will fire up Outlook. I will refresh. And if there's not, and it looks like there is not. Well, then we can just get to work and
right.
give away some stuff. I believe we are giving away.
Let's do it.
Oh my gosh, wait a minute. I just heard the toot toot. We have a hype train. It's the first appearance.
There's
Although I think I
little
missed
train.
my. Do you see the little hype train, Ruel? Look at it.
Train. Oh,
It's so cute.
So cute.
Yes, this is a plugin I found somewhere,
That's
or
cool.
a little thing, and apparently apparently, if people keep pushing the hype, because hey, while we're on a hype, if people subscribe right now or give subscription to everybody or give bits, apparently you will get in the train. The train apparently gets longer the more people push the hype till we can get to level 2 and level 3 and folks can unlock things. Let's see, did that work? Oh, thank you. Let's trust that.
Oh my
Exacting
gosh, that's
Vampire
great.
with the bits. Did Exacting Vampire? Oh, it's so tiny I can't see the little train. I need to make it bigger. Did it work?
And everyone's dancing now.
Yep,
and
Exacting
it looks like some people
Vampire
are- Oh my
is
gosh.
in the train along with Emerson and Kate Vader. Okay, so it's actually working. And everybody's dancing. Everybody responds to the bits. They don't respond to the subscribes. I'm not quite sure why that is.
Huh.
So,
Oh, that's really cool.
yeah, it's
Look at that
a
hype
cute
train
little
going.
thing. It'd be kind of nice if
Yeah.
the wheels stopped turning. Because okay,
Yeah.
you stopped. I think the assumption is that it's down there and it's like, oh, it's supposed to be moving through space, but it's right there with all those little stream avatars who are not walking around. So
Yeah.
but it was free. What can you do? Mostly,
Right.
it's so easy to miss when a hype train starts for you and me because we're not really looking at the chat all the time. Yep. And the main reason I got is because it's the only thing I could find that would actually detect when a hype train begins. Thank you, little Buster. Get on that hype train. Buster. You are physically in the front seat. Or actually, it's probably the worst seat because you're right behind. You're probably getting all the coal smoke right in your face. So that's unfortunate. But that's all.
So it looks like every time someone spends bits, everyone starts dancing because I see everyone dancing.
Yes,
right now.
and it used to be
Cool.
everybody would respond and dance when somebody subscribed too, but it seems like that has gotten broken. It's on my list of things to do to contact them and say, hey, it seems like nobody, they don't respond to the dance invite as well.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so the train is getting longer. I mean, we're not gonna do a super hardcore push for hyping. I have this so that I can hear the toot toot in my ear so that I know a hype train is going so we can at least mention it. Because there have been many times, Ruel, when we completely missed the beginning, middle, and end of it.
Yeah. This is like you said, a really easy way for us to get on board with the hype train. This is great.
Yep.
I love it.
Okay. So, yes, everything seems to be working okay. So, let's, no more contests have come in. I can shut down Outlook because I'm trying to run lean when we do this show, just trying to shut everything down, which I didn't always do before. So, come back over, get to the wheel of names, jump back over here, and go to the browser. There it is. Hey, even that worked. Hoorah.
Wow.
And, look at that. Flying Dutch Rocker is testing out a temporary avatar. Because if you have enough channel points, you can give yourself an avatar just for one episode. That's very cool. Dutch, it should show up within a couple of minutes. You'll see yourself walking around down there. And then there's links down below the video with a list of all the commands you can do and all the rest of it. Okay, but anyway, get hyped, everybody. Not for the hype train, but one lucky winner is going to get Fog of Love. Here we go.
Nice. All right, good luck, everybody. Here we go. Let's see who's going to take home a copy of Fog of Love.
Jana Huseman's. Congratulations, Jana. Very, very nice.
Jana.
I hope you will enjoy it. I'll contact you after the show. That is cool beans. You know what? I went back and looked afterwards. When I was doing the on the table thing last week, did you realize I went for like almost 8 minutes?
Yeah, it's funny because, when we're in it, I didn't even realize how much time had passed. I was like we're so engaged with what you're talking about because you were hyped about the game.
I am. It's such a cool game.
Yeah. But then, afterwards, like, that did sort of run long.
Yeah, very much did. But, and let's see here. Which cover version is it? Brad, that I do not know. Didn't even occur to me to ask. It is cool. They're different. If I were a betting man, I would assume it's probably just, the standard man-woman cover. But maybe that's something that Jana can request. I don't know. We'll definitely... We'll follow up on that. It's the new reprint from Floodgate Games because Floodgame has picked up the license and they're going to be putting out new expansions for it. It's such a cool game. I just heard toot toot again. What did that mean? I lost track of the train. The train is coming back. What is happening?
Oh, is it wait, what?
We didn't finish. No? Maybe it's when you get to a second level. The train comes out again to start pushing that. would be, yeah, that's what Duck of Death is guessing, that, because we hit level 2, hooray, it's now a level 2 train.
Nice. And there it is again.
Okay.
Wait.
What is happening with this train? This train is out of control.
Breaking down or something.
Right. I just would have assumed it would have stayed out here the entire time, but it keeps resetting itself. Thank you for the bits, Itrix. And apparently you are taking that train right out of town. There you go.
There's the train. Bye-bye, train.
You caught the third train. And everybody's dancing. Yay! Yeah. Everybody's happy about the emotes that you've just unlocked, folks. For this episode, you will have special, it looks like a little turtle and a sleeping kitty cat and a dolphin and some other stuff. So you've done it. Hype train achieved. Yes. Hype train has left the station. Let's see. Alrighty. And, okay, so that's the first thing. Of course, we're going to do the show in a bit. Oh, and just as a warning for folks who are excited about the next chapter of the top 100 of all time, we're not doing the top 100 of all time. We're putting it on hold for this week and next week because this week, sponsor of the show, Funnigan Games is back. So we're going to be doing a new What's Hot? That's basically whenever we do the what would we buy now, it's our version of the, hey, what's new and hot in the industry right now? I've got some good choices. I imagine you do too. Apparently we had no overlap.
I have a feeling we had some overlap this time.
Oh, well, no. I mean, my top 5 were good to go. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
mine were shuffled around a little bit.
Oh, yours got shuffled around a little bit? So I'm not quite sure how that worked.
I'm almost positive one on my list was on your list. I'm almost positive. And
to be honest, I send the list off to him, and he sends it back to me a few hours later, and I just looked at it and said, well, okay, that looks like the same thing. But maybe something did change. Maybe we did have one overlap. I'm not quite sure. I mean, I know one was on my list that there's no way you couldn't have mentioned, unless you're doing the old Jedi mind trick of, I'm going to mention it, so you're not mentioning it kind of thing.
Exactly. These aren't the droids you're looking for.
Exactly. So that's what we'll be doing when we start the show. And then next week we'll be doing, the monthly, hey, here's the upcoming Kickstarters. But then the week after that, we'll get back to the top 100, which is why this top 100, we're going to be doing this until like May or June, I think. We
got
it out.
Plenty of shows in the bank here. Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. And the nice thing is there's shows where we already know the list because, I mean, that list, that's a tricky thing. I mean, there are some games that we might play between now and then that might push their way in, but I mean, that list will have to be frozen in amber from whenever we started a few weeks ago.
Right.
But that's okay.
And just having the list like already, like that takes off a little pressure off of us each week. Although there's a bunch of pressure when I came up with my list, but now it's like, now that we know each, our 10 that are coming in, like, it takes, I feel like, okay, I'm a little more prepared. Not that we're not prepared, but just I'm a little more comfortable when we go into those shows.
Yep. Okay. Cool. We have hardly said anything to the audience, so let's just take a moment to say, hey, Old Man Coaster, hey, Bing, hey, Omar, hey, Nazgoth, hey, Kabuki, hey, Delquest, hey, Itzik, and Rian, and Nazgoth, and Vampire, and Omar, and Brad, and Bing, and Super 1491, and Meeples and Mocktails, and Ruckus, and I could keep scrolling back, and Kate, and Flying Dutch. All right, okay, I think we're getting back to people who have been chatting so far. It's just rude not to say hello when people show up at your front door. Obviously, you need to welcome them in.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff, for hanging out. Always good to see y'all. And let me see.
And Liquid Paper X. Hello, a very special welcome to Liquid Paper Triple X, which there must be an interesting story behind that too. Why there? It's after hours Liquid Paper. I don't know what he does with it, but I assume it's a he. Maybe not. Who knows? All kinds of stuff going on in that household. Alrighty. So, let's see. Let me look to see. I know we had some outstanding stuff from last week that we had not made good on. Let me pull up the request list. Alrighty. Last week there was two Trivial Pursuits because people still want to hear me talk about whatever it is that I'm supposed to talk about. Oh, we have 3 Trivial Pursuits. 2 left over from last week and 1 from this week so far, and a top 3 and a Ruel Ranks. So if we're going to spin that wheel 3 times, surely I am going to have to give up the secrets about whatever it was that people want to hear about. And it has now been built way out of proportion. There's no way it could possibly live up to whatever enthusiasm people have for it. But should we start with a ranking, do you suppose?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
And I know what the people want. We all want to hear about your vacuum cleaner
There were two
sales
things,
days.
right?
And
Oh, it was
that
that, and
one,
it was
David, was it David Turchi?
Dave
Was there a story about
Turchi.
David
Yeah,
Turchi?
my
Yes.
my involvement with bringing Dave Turchi to the wild world of board games. Alrighty, but
Yes.
first of all, we are gonna rank some stuff. Let's see here. I need to
Okay.
come back to the browser. Here is the Gaviola collection. I'll just go scroll to a random page. Hey, here's a whole bunch of stuff you haven't rated. What gives? What do you like
Oh,
there?
wow. I see 1, 2, 3,
You
right
need
there.
to big
10.
them up a bit. Or let's see, I
Yeah,
need to see the whole one
10
here.
Whirling Witchcraft and The Walking Dead Something to Fear. Is that what it
Yeah,
says? Okay. Those three right after one after the other there.
yeah. Well,
Oh, I haven't ranked Roll Camera either. Ooh.
You haven't ranked roll? No, you have. What the? All right, all right. Well, anyway, so
Wow.
royal ranking time. Rel shall rank? Question mark. So okay. Any of those you feel up to talking about?
Those three, the four that I mentioned: 10 Whirling Witchcraft, The Walking Dead Something to Fear, and Roll Camera, the filmmaking board game.
All right. Dead something to fear. Oh, roll camera. Apparently these have to be very short. Walking Dead. S thing to fear. Come on. All right. Walking Dead fear. Apparently these have to be very, very short. Okay. Folks, start voting. Which of these would you like Ruel and I to talk about? Mostly Ruel, because as always, Ruel is way behind on his ranking duties. He has all these games. He knows he likes them, and yet for some reason, he has yet to deign them, to anoint them with a proper ranking.
I'm going over The Walking Dead Something to Fear. I forgot about this game, but I'm pulling up the BGG page. Okay, I remember playing this now. Okay.
Okay, because I was going to say, yeah, you better be ready to talk about it.
Yeah. So I know 10. I know Whirling Witchcraft. I know Roll Camera. But the Walking Dead one had me worried. I was like, uh-oh, did I actually play this?
What have I done?
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
I remember now.
Okay. Right now, it is a very neck and neck with Roll Camera and Whirling Witchcraft, surprisingly.
Okay.
I would have thought there'd be a bit. I mean, 10 seems like it's pretty well loved. I mean, Walking Dead Fear. I mean, tell me, was Walking Dead Fear something Fear any good? What is it?
It was okay. How about this? It was a lot better than I expected. I came in with pretty low expectations. Because it's just a card drafting game. I think it was.
Yeah.
Simultaneous action selection.
Oh.
And it wasn't bad. It was based on the comic books.
Yeah. Not the show. Okay.
Yeah. Not the show. Of course, anyone that sees the show, they'll recognize all the characters in there. You know, there's the usual cast of characters in there. But it was good. It was. Let's see. BGG has it ranked at 6.3. I'd probably rank it a little higher than that.
Well, we'll never know because only one person has given it a vote. It is all about Roll Camera versus Whirling Witchcraft. 24 to
whoever
30.
That one person is, I will let you know it's higher than a 6.3 in my estimation. How about that?
There you go. You heard it here first, folks. All right,
so
down to 5 seconds. And Roll Camera's making a big, massive comeback after trailing for this but then Whirling Witchcraft, boom, pulls it out. So people, it would appear there are some people who are waiting until the last possible second to use their vote because they figure if they do it sooner, other people will overwrite them. But if they wait till the last minute, the last 5 seconds, it might push it over the top. That must be what is happening there.
And then I'm sure people are spending their points too to influence that vote, which I've done in the past.
Yeah, a very
so which one won? I didn't see it.
Whirling Witchcraft won it by 51%.
Oh wow!
Of the vote.
Wow.
43 to 38 votes versus 32 votes. So we need to talk about Whirling Witchcraft, which is cool because I have actually played that one and I am prepared to talk about it. But why don't you tell us all about it? Here it is.
Yeah, I'll pitch it like this, and this is the way I've been explaining the game ever since I learned it last year. It's basically the classic I Love Lucy episode, at the chocolate factory. You are doing that in real time here. I mean, not real time, but you are playing that where you're trying to overload your opponents with too many chocolates, or in this case, too many ingredients from their cauldrons. And when it spills over, you score those points for anything it spills over. So it's sort of like a quick engine building, but also engine wrecking game at the same time. You're building your engine, hoping to wreck your opponents, and it's wonderful. I played it at all different player counts. It takes maybe 15 to 20 minutes at most. It's always a fast game.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I don't. We've never. Maybe 25 minutes might be the longest, but
Yeah, I would have said I would
literally.
have said around a half an hour. I've played
Oh,
it as a
really?
4-player game and a 2-player game. In both cases, it took. Well, actually, no, it's not true. The very first
Okay.
time we played it, it was 5 minutes. It was under 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
it can go that fast. That's
yes.
true. Like if you just happen to get the right combinations of cards, you're gonna be pumping out ingredients like nothing, and those ingredients are gonna spill over on your opponents. I seriously, I just live streamed this yesterday with Amanda Panda.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we did a I did a so every month I do a Gaviola game night here at my place where I stream for like 6-7 hours and play a bunch of different games. And Whirling Witchcraft was one of the final games that we played, and it took us 15 minutes for a 2-player game. It's just absolutely wonderful. Again, AEG is just, I've said this many times over this during the show. They're killing it. They've I don't know what the magic is over there. Maybe it's the Whirling Witchcraft magic, but their games are rock solid these days. And Whirling Witchcraft, I'm gonna give a 7.75. I really enjoy this game. I don't know
Wow.
if it,
That's
can I go
pretty
8?
high.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 7.75. I think that's right.
Okay.
What about you, Richard?
Oh,
Thoughts?
I agree. It is a super clever game. It's the notion of an engine builder. The more longer you play, the more of these cards you get in, and these cards take components and convert them into other components, and you create these assembly lines of things, and it's all the purpose of just creating so many components that your cauldron overflows, and your overflow goes to your neighbor, and you're trying to overload them because that's how you score points. So it's an engine building game, and unlike most engine building games, it's like a little self-contained thing, and you're just I'm just trying to make my stuff and pump out my widgets out of this factory here. In this game, the fuel for your engine comes from your neighbors. And the more your neighbor, focuses on toadstools, the more, I need to make an engine that can consume toadstools because we're going to go over a run with them very, very quickly. And that is really neat. It's kind of aggressive, but it doesn't really feel like it because it's more just silly than anything else that we're just drowning you in frogs and mandrake root and toadstools and all the rest of it. It works as a 2-player. You said played all player counts, right? Have you tried it as a 2?
Yes.
How did you feel?
It's better at 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Obviously, it just there's more more things going on. But 2 wasn't bad at all.
I would
didn't
agree.
think 2 was bad at all.
Yeah, I would say 2 isn't bad. But I mean, and maybe if I hadn't had a chance to play it at higher player counts, I would rate 2 a little bit higher. I would say as a higher player count game, mid to high 7s is pretty good. And there's nothing wrong with the 2-player. It's just that so much of the joy of this game is I am frantically trying to drown Ruel in Mandrake Root, while Amanda Panda is frantically trying to drown me in toadstools. And how do I win? By finding a way to convert those toadstools into Mandrake Root. And that's super satisfying when you can pull that kind of stuff off. And then there's like card drafting and 7 Wonders style stuff too. So it's a sharp game. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking that was a bit high, but I was mostly thinking about 2-player, where everything I'm making goes to you, and everything you're making comes to me, and it works. It's just not quite as much fun without 2 people that I'm taking into account all the time.
Yeah. Definitely. The additional players bump it up a notch for me. And you know what? Michelle is she's always trying to. She's like, this is the one game we need to retheme because Michelle is a huge I Love Lucy fan. She's like, can we just retheme this? Let's make a retheme.
And make it a chocolate factory thing.
Make it a chocolate thing. I was like, that would be so much fun. So if anyone else out there, if anyone does it, let me know. I will print and play your copy or whatever. I would love to see that retheme.
All right.
Whirling Witchcraft, fun game. Great call.
Yeah.
Chat.
Okay,
Great
cool.
call.
And we are one step closer to ending the show because once you have 100% ranking, we have no reason to be here anymore. But at the rate you're ranking stuff and the rate you're accumulating stuff, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
We'll be here forever.
Exactly. Okay, let's see. So we have 3 outstanding Trivial Pursuit requests. So let me bring up the wheel and switch over so I can spin it. There should be, there's one less general because the last time we just got some general, I think we did Mr. Rogers trivia if I recall correctly.
That's
so
correct, yep.
Let's see what we're going to be talking about now. Here we go. I need to make this wheel a bit smaller so it doesn't cover your face. Oh, okay.
Oh,
it is time. The time has come. So, Ruel.
We want the story.
Okay, well, there are 2 stories that apparently everybody wants to hear. So, which one is it to be? Do you want to hear about how I got Dave Turczi in the his start in the board game industry, or how I was a door-to-door vacuum cleaner salesman in high school?
I've been hearing about it for months now. We got to hear the vacuum sales story.
All right. Well, so in high school, let's see, I'm trying to think what all is absolutely essential to understand about the story. I could do a bunch of background, deep background about how I was a year older than all my fellows because I was homeschooled, and there's a whole bunch of things that goes into this, but we'll just cut right to the chase. At some point after I'd gotten my driver's license, it was summer, and my dad said one morning, you know what? You need to get out of here, and I don't want you to come back tonight home unless you got a job, because it's time for you to go out and get a job. I'm like, okay, Dad. All right.
Wow.
And
so you were in high school at this time, or
yeah,
were
this
you
is
out of
this was high school. This was high school.
Okay,
And you know, I had a driver's license, and yeah, I mean, it was just not something that I needed to do. I didn't have. I'm trying to think, what did I even need money for? Because I still went to movies and all that. I guess my parents were sick and tired of paying for my movie habit. Because that's probably the number one thing I spent money on, was just going to movies all the time back in the 80s. What a glorious time to see Princess Bride and Die Hard opening day in the theaters. Oh, man.
Yes.
I actually skipped school to go see Princess Bride, which is like a whole nother thing.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Because my dad's name is Richard Ham as well. And so there was a brief time when I was a bit rebellious, and I started, well, you know what? I'm just going to sign a sick piece of paper for Richard, and I'll just sign it Richard Ham and hand it in. What? No, I just signed it. You might think it was my dad signing it, but I'm just saying I signed it. And I got away with it 3 or 4 times before the administrative staff of the high school recognized, yeah, maybe we need to call his dad and confirm.
I love it.
This kid's been committing forgery for half a year. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Hilarious.
I was a good kid. I was mostly a good kid, but I had a little bit of silly stuff. But so my dad said, do not come home without a job. So I went out. I got a newspaper. Remember when you had to find jobs in the newspaper, Ruel?
Yeah.
The old classifieds. And let's see what was. There was like working at fast food places. There was a dishwasher thing. But there was a, do you want to make your fortune? And I'm like, yeah. And do you have spare time? It was summer, so yeah, I have spare time. So I called it, and they said, yeah, okay. Oh, you're a college kid? You're a high school kid? Summer break? This is perfect. Come on down. We're doing training tomorrow. I'm like, oh, great. This is like my 3rd call. I got a job. I don't even know what it is, but I'm gonna be trained tomorrow. So I came home and I told Dad, okay, I got a job. And Dad was, I don't know, I'll find out tomorrow. So he was not impressed, but I did get to come home that night. And so the next day I go there, and yes, it is I forget the name. I want to say Dyson vacuum cleaners.
Yeah,
Dyson vacuum cleaners.
They're still around.
I imagine. And that's what it was. And it was, I had to dress up. I had to wear a tie, which was tricky for me because I think I had to borrow my dad's tie and whatnot. Anyway, I go there, and I find out what it is, and I'm like, okay, I'm here under protest, but I need to do this anyway. And so I spent a week going to this dinky little back room in a mall in Silverdale, Washington, and they just had this little room, and they just had Dysons up all walls over the place, and it kind of felt... Now that I've never thought about this, it felt very much like the sales room in Glengarry Glen Ross. It had that feeling to it. I mean, not that anybody was saying, "You child." There was no coffee is for closers, but it was just kind of a little rundown and seedy. But there was a whole bunch of us, mostly adults. I was the only kid there, and we basically spent 5 days in a crash course learning how to sell the heck out of a Dyson vacuum cleaner. How to take it apart, how to demo it, how its features, and how. Not only to demonstrate it, but how to overcome objections and all that. So, so that's what I did. The next day I came home and Dad said, that's fantastic. I'm so happy you're doing this. And I thought, well, that's kind of surprising. I ultimately found out my mom and Dad were super excited because they thought, okay, well, this is going to be a waste of time. This is going to be garbage, but it's going to train him how to be prepared for salesmen. If he is trained to be a salesman. So they were ecstatic. I did it for the week. And it was fine. And then they said, okay, we're done for the week. Now, here's the test. We want you to take one of these and do a trial run on doing this with like friends or family or something like that. And, okay, fine. And so I took it home. I did it the next day. And to be fair, to this day, those were amazing vacuum cleaners. It is incredible what they can pull out of a mattress.
Yeah, we seriously we just recently bought one.
Are you serious?
We have a Dyson.
Oh.
It's a fantastic vacuum. I'm gonna say, like, I know I'm not trying to get a sales pitchy here, but it's the best vacuum I've ever had.
That is hilarious. And that is an incredibly small world. So yeah, so I did the whole sales pitch with my folks, and they're like, okay, well, yeah, it looks like he's got it. He's prepared for life. He's prepared not to fall sucker to this. And so I had to call the manager and say, hey, I did that. And so I thought, okay, can I get my Glengarry leads now? Not that nobody had ever heard of Glengarry Gun Ross at that point, but supposedly you were going to do this, and then you were going to get leads, and you were going to go door to door. And I'm like, I'm nervous about that, but that's fine. And so, okay, great job, Richard. Tell you what, why don't you hand the phone to your folks? And then he proceeded to do an incredibly hardcore close the pitch sale on my dad to buy that thing. And it turns out the whole thing was an elaborate scheme to convince us these were so amazing that we would convince our families and get the one sale out of it. It was absolutely ridiculous.
No way.
Yep. And my dad said, no, this is not the purpose of this exercise. Hung up on the guy and said, you're not going back there. And so that was that.
Oh my goodness. What? Oh, wow. That is totally something out of Glengarry Glen Ross.
I know! I was Ricky Roman.
Oh my gosh, that is incredible. What a great story. That twist, I did not expect the twist at the end. That was fantastic.
Oh, you know what? Head of Metal mentions Kirby. That sounds right. I think they were Kirby vacuums. I believe you're right, Head of Metal. Yeah. I mean, Dyson vacuums. Yeah, I mean, why would I know of Kirby? And Kirby, that just, as soon as I saw Head Metal said probably Kirby, that's like, boom. That just, I just felt a rush come back. So I'm almost positive you're right. It was Kirby vacuums. And again,
because Dysons are fantastic. I love Dyson. I love our Dyson.
Yes,
vacuums,
I am not here to try to push a Kirby agenda. I've already done that once, but it was actually really useful. And I mean, the Rahdo persona I have is part the fact that I ended up getting like kind of coerced around in my junior year of high school to play the lead role, kind of a song and dance huckster in this student play, and then what I did. The kind of persona I had to develop to sell vacuum cleaners. And then, when I went to college, I ended up getting a job as a customer service. No, not customer service rep. The first one I did was the person who would call you up and say, hi, if you have a few minutes, we'd like to ask you a few questions about your voting preferences this election season, or, your shopping preferences. And so I was doing online surveys. So throughout high school, I had developed a lot of, through osmosis, I had developed a lot of things that served me very well to this day. If I want to, I can sell the hell out of a Kirby vacuum, and I can sell the hell out of a board game too while I'm at it. But I use my powers for good, because I only sell stuff I really dig, like, say, Fog of Love. I mean, Ruel knows. I mean, we get contacted all the time to cover games on Kickstarter, and we all say no the vast majority of the time. We say yes to the things that we like. So that and that was my first real job. Of course, I'd like mowed vacuum, or mowed lawns and done little odd jobs around the neighborhood. That was the first one where I went to and was like, oh, I've actually felt I have to give you my social security number, kind of a thing. And
that's crazy. I just, again, that twist at the end of like how they end up trying to sell you your father. That is hilarious.
I know. Dad was not impressed, but he was not surprised either. But as far as he was concerned, I mean, if nothing else, because I was a young, impressionable kid. I actually really liked the guy because he was a professional salesman, and he kind of sold me on it. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go out and and do the good work of Kirby, and bring it to households around the nation, because this is an amazing thing. And it's like, oh, you're using me as a tool.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And it's cool though that you still took something out of that, right?
Yeah.
You learned, and it's like you said, it served you all these years later. That's a great story. I love that story. That's fantastic. Now I can't wait to hear the David Turchi story.
All right, well, we have 2 more requests, so let me go on ahead and take one Rahdo off the wheel, save that, and then let's bring it back and roll again, because we have 3 total requests. All right, so wheel, come on back. And, and is it coming back? Did I push the button? No, it's not.
It's not showing up yet.
All right, I pushed the wrong button. There we go. There it is. Okay, or there it will be, rather. Yes.
There you go.
There's the big colorful wheel. -1 Rahdo entry. And then I got to come back over here and refresh this page. And then I got to find the button. And we spin for trivia number 2. Oh, we're not in Ruel Ranks. Gosh, I got to get better about these banners.
Hey.
What is it?
All right.
Ruel. Okay, Ruel is up at bat. You have to tell us, you could tell us about your first real job.
Oh man, nothing as good as that. I mean, I did like you. I did odd jobs around the neighborhood, mowed lawns, and well, at the time, my father actually paid me and a friend of mine to clean up the backyard because it was like we had avocado trees, and if you know anything about avocado trees, those leaves get everywhere, and they're a ton. But the one thing you know what, I'll tell you this.
Okay.
Did you know, Rahdo? I once worked on the International Space Station.
Oh, that's interesting. Tell me more. I'm a big ISS booster.
The ISS, I worked many years ago, right out of college. I graduated with a degree in English, so I got into the technical publications department of the aerospace company that was nearby.
JPL?
And no, it wasn't JPL. It was a small company called Astro Aerospace, which eventually got bought out by TRW, which then got bought out by Northrop Grumman. And I don't know who owns it. Maybe Boeing owns it now. I don't know. It's gone through many iterations. But so I was in this little publications department, and we were in charge of like pumping out all the manuals and all the policies and procedures. And I was basically, you know, a paperwork guy. But some of the paperwork we produced was for the International Space Station, for this one little part that our company was building. It was like a minuscule part, and we produced tons of documentation for it. And actually, fun thing, my team, actually, we won like Employees of the Month for the amount of documentation we did for this. So even though it's just like one little, I don't even remember what it was.
Some kind of little widget sort of a thing? A flange,
kind of widget,
a J coupler or some such?
Something like that, yeah. All I know is it was used to like move certain parts along the International Space Station. So you have the rails that the one of these transporters would move along on the space station, and we were in charge of producing documentation for like either a widget or some kind of minuscule thing.
A space carabiner. The
there it is. Yeah. Just clip it on, you're safe. But anyways, yes. So I was a part of the International Space Station in a very tiny bit.
Does that
was
mean
many years ago?
That up in the International Space Station, and thank you, Kabuki, for bringing the audience down, reminding us that its days are numbered. Yes, we know. But if somebody up there, if they have to activate it, do they have to? Is there something that they open up and flip to page 3, and there's like some words from Ruel Gaviola literally floating in space?
There may be. Now, it's a team effort. None of us actually got like, oh, it's Ruel wrote this. Like, we all produced it together with the engineers, of course. We were more like proofreaders and stylists and stuff like that. But yeah, there could be some stuff up there. But that's my one. I have a couple of other stories, but I'll save those for next time as far as like space stuff. You know,
wow, so that is super cool.
There it is.
And you know, again, with the absolute insanity of coincidences, you know what my major in college was?
Was it English?
Scientific and technical communication.
Interesting.
I was being trained to take engineer speak and convert it into regular person speak. Which is what you ultimately went and did on the International Space Station.
Oh, that's so crazy! Oh my god, that's exactly what we were doing.
I know.
Oh, wow.
And it's weird too. I mean, it was a new major back in '89 at the University of Washington, scientific and technical communication. Like, oh, that's perfect for me because actually I wanted to be a programmer, but the programming requirements at the UW were just I mean, you had to do advanced calculus. Like, I've been programming since I was 10 years old. I know I don't need advanced calculus. Just teach me C. Or, you know, and nope, sorry, can't do it. Like, so I took, interestingly, back to the ISS, I ended up taking a programming course trying to get in to prove to the pressure, look, you'll let me in even though I don't have the math. And the course I took was programming in Ada, which, as I understand it, is a language that is only used by NASA.
Wow.
And I mean, so I was on a track. If I'd stuck with that, maybe I could have been writing code that was somehow associated with your ISS carabiner.
Oh my
widget
gosh,
list.
that is hilarious. Oh my gosh. So yeah, because after I that job, I left that. I became a technical writer for a software company. So I was again taking engineer speak and making it put into layman's terms and stuff. Oh, that's so funny.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Small world.
Wow, that is a really wacky coincidence. Okay, so we have
Yeah.
done 2. Did we just do 3 trivias?
I feel like we've done a
I
bunch of
kind of
trivia
feel like
today.
I just slipped a third one in there. So I'm just going to go on ahead and take, which means I denied everybody my Dave Turczi origin story, where I play a not insignificant role. If you were to think of him as a superhero that was bitten by a radioactive board game, well, I'm the one that irradiated the board game, kind of a thing. But so I'll have to save for another day. So let me go back to the wheel and take another one off because I just did. I think that counts. All right.
I think so too. Yeah, that's terrific.
That is far freaking out the level of coincidences going on here.
Wow.
All right, we have.
Now I'm wondering, like, I'm thinking about my other like space stories that I have in the bank here. I'm wondering if any of those will like cross paths.
Well, you
with
know what?
you've done is
Zetarek just cashed in his Rahdo points, folks. In case you don't know, below the chat there's a cursive R. The longer you watch, the more chat Rahdo points you earn. You can spend those points to make us do things like this. Like Zetarek just demanded more trivia, so we've got to go back. We're our fourth trivia. Let me get the wheel back up. Alrighty. Oh wait, although I've got to take now. Right, so we took one of you off. I've done a second one, so I got to take another one off of me. Let's see here. So, I need to make this a bigger window. It's such a tiny window. All right, so we close that one. We save that. I come back. I turn the wheel on. Let's see, and so now the wheel. I should only be. Whoa! I destroyed everything. I broke the wheel.
What happened?
I don't know. I misclicked somehow. Let's fix that, because that is not the way it's supposed to look right now. Oopsie doops. Why don't you chat with the audience for a little bit while I try and fix this wheel?
Let me see what the audience is up to. Tippy says, you've lived a good life when you can say you have multiple space stories. Yeah, I
yes.
definitely have
I agree.
lived a good life. Yes. Let's see. Where do we, Dragon says, what does this say? Where do we find these radioactive board games to be bitten by? As a designer, I'm super curious.
They are handy.
Oh, if only we knew.
Oh, shoot.
Let's see. And that explains Rahdo so good at dumbing down some of those rule books for. Oh, okay, yeah, that's a great point, Bing. Bing says, so that explains why Rahdo is so good at dumbing down some of these rule books for us. You were able to take engineer speak or designer speak and convert it into a much easier way to understand. Wow, what's going on with this wheel?
This wheel is exploding. I do not know what's going on. But tell you what, there's one of me, there's one of General. That is actually about right. So we'll just say games is you. And we'll spin this because I don't know.
Wait, did we ever have a games?
No, originally when I was originally setting this up, there were going to be 4 categories. There was going to be me, you, and games, and then I changed games to general. And as I was trying to set this back up, there was because somehow I deleted all of you, so they were gone. But games was still there, so games is synonymous with Ruel. We're going to get another games one if I can scroll, and I will fix the wheel more properly next time. But I think we're going to get some more space stories potentially.
Yeah.
Yep, it looks like. All right.
Looks like space stories. Okay.
So you still won't hear about Turczi.
Yeah,
and I'll
this
fix
was a
that
little
wheel
bit
later.
on the sad side, though. I'm gonna just a heads up, everyone. This is a sad story.
Okay.
So again, while I was working for Astro Aerospace for many years, right out of college, one cool thing we got to do, just very rarely, actually meet astronauts, astronauts who have gone to the space station and beyond, and of course they're Americans. And one thing I noticed, I met 2 of them. And the one thing I noticed, I thought they were going to be bigger than larger than life, but they're not. They're maybe 5'9", 5'10", because you cannot be over 6 feet tall because you cannot fit into those ships and space station. Yeah, I was totally blown away by that because I was literally I'm 5'8", and one of the astronauts I met, I mean, he's a really well built guy, but he wasn't maybe 1 inch taller than me. And, I didn't ask him. I just found out later on. It's you can only be a certain height in order to fit into the ships and stuff. But anyways, the gentleman's name, I believe, was Michael Johnson. He was one of the very few African-American astronauts ever. And it was a real thrill, a real honor to meet him. unfortunately, years later, after I'd gotten out of the industry, I learned on the news he was one of the pilots on the Columbia space shuttle
Wow.
disaster. So this was the second shuttle that had blown up. He was like the payload commander, I think. Yeah, and he was one of 6 or 7 astronauts that died on impact when they came back down to Earth. So that really threw me for a loop. I remember seeing his picture. I had the exact picture that was on the news. He had autographed it to me. I still have it to this day, you know. And yeah, so that's my other story. I got to meet astronauts, and unfortunately, one of them was one that passed in the Columbia shuttle disaster.
Wow.
But still a thrill. Just being able to talk to him, and it's like, hi, it's just me. I produce paperwork for this little thing here. But he was both the astronauts I
So
met
were
very
they coming out to
gracious.
just give everybody motivational speeches, or
No, they were like
or do
part
they
of
need to know how
they
the
were part of
flange works?
they were just sort of like they're part of the Boeing team that would come out and just make the rounds every now and then to different places that made stuff for NASA. So it was a real thrill, it was an honor. But
Oh,
yeah, it's sort
yeah,
of a
that's
sad
amazing.
ending to that story. Yeah.
I could have had a story like that if I'd stuck with my scientific and technical communication career instead of
Yeah,
taking a
you could have
sidestep
probably
into
met
video games.
astronauts too.
Yep.
Yeah. So there it is. That's my other story,
That's
folks.
pretty cool. I think we had some pretty good trivia today.
Some good stuff today. Yeah.
And I'll have to fix the wheel before next time. Okay, I see we still have a top 3, but I think it's time to get the show on the road.
Yeah, let's do this.
We'll see if there's time for the top 3 afterwards, and if not, do not worry. Duck of Death 5. We'll hit it first thing next week. All right.
Nice.
But as always, folks, the longer you watch, the more of these points you accrue. Occasionally, in case you're new to Twitch, you may notice down next to that cursive R, a little treasure chest appear, and you're like, oh, I don't want to click that. I don't know what's going to happen. All it does is it gives you a bonus 50 points every time you click that treasure chest, because Twitch is trying to incentivize you to actually watch the show. They are paying you in virtual meaningless currency to watch the show. But then you can convert that into a whole list of stuff, all kinds of requests you can do, or you can supersize your avatar, or all kinds of fun stuff. But anyway, phew. Okay, we need to get ready to film, which means we need I can think of a safe word. Secret word.
Yeah.
We need a secret word. And a safe word.
I mean, I was thinking astronaut just because I was talking about it, but I don't know if any of my... Yeah, I don't think my games would have that.
Let's see.
Can you do astronaut?
No, it would be a real stretch to hamstring astronaut in.
Yeah. Or how about vacuum cleaner or salesman?
Let's see. What do we got? Okay. There's space. There's space stations. There's sales. There's scams. Because basically my first job was a scam of sorts.
That's true.
Boy, I would love to put ISS in, but yeah. Spoiler alert: I have nothing even remotely. Everything's very down to earth on my list this week.
Here. Yeah, same. Oh boy, so
carabiner.
Carabiner.
I don't even know if most people know what a carabiner is. Plus, honestly, that's kind of a hard word to spell. I don't even know if you got it right.
Yeah. That was a tough word.
Let's see here.
Kirby. Oh, Kirby has multiple meanings according to Baloo.
Oh my god, it never occurred to me. Is Kirby named Kirby because of Kirby vacuum cleaners?
Oh, no, really? Is it?
I don't know.
No.
I mean, he's a little vacuum cleaner monster. That's what he does. He sucks stuff out and spits it out. And his name is Kirby. Is that a coincidence?
Wow. Wow. It's got to be a coincidence, no? Oh.
I don't know. I mean, Mario was named after a janitor at one of the Nintendo America offices, as I recall correctly, because before that he was just called Jumpman.
Right. Yep. So
there's
maybe
a bonus
Kirby
trivia
was...
for you folks out there. No. Kabuki Kid is...
Kabuki's got to Google.
Yep, is Jane on the spot. You want to throw that on screen. I do not have my...
Yep. There it is.
Chosen in honor of the American lawyer, John Kirby, who defended Nintendo at the Universal City Studios versus Nintendo case 1984. Guttural sounding name, contrasted amusingly with the cute appearance. Yeah, okay, I guess that's cool. But I kind of like the fact that he's named after vacuum cleaners. But fine, I guess we'll go with the official story. Let's see. And Dragon Corn was just about to paste it, but there were two. The Google Foo is strong with Kabuki Kids. You got to get pretty early. All right, we still need a safe word.
Salesman, vacuum cleaner. What else did we talk about?
Widget.
Widget would be. Oh, could I fit widget?
I can.
Can you?
I can. In
Let me
honor
see.
of the widget that you wrote technical documentation for that is literally in orbit at this very moment.
And will come crashing down anytime. So yeah, if you want to take widget, that'd be great. Yeah,
all right.
Okay.
Widget it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. The secret word
Nice.
is widget. Let me update the banner. Secret word. Where are you? It is no longer Rocky. It is widget, which is WIDGET, right? Widget.
Right.
That's also one that people, I guarantee you, a lot of people are going to misspell that, but that's okay. I'll catch them all. Gotta catch them all. Okay.
Gotta catch them all.
So that is that, and it is time to set up for the show that we have all assembled here to do. Alrighty, so I've got that on the screen. Let me make sure. All right, I don't have anything on the table today, but I do have the browser at the ready. Fun Again is our sponsor. Let's see, I've got Fun Again. This episode sponsored by, and let's see, what else do I need? That's what's overhead at the moment. A big file. There's my green screen right there, in case anybody's curious. These are fun. I forget who sent them, but it came with a Christmas card from a publisher. I can't put them on the green screen. Oh no, maybe I can because they're green. The green doesn't work. They're cute little what do you call them? They're cute little Christmas meeples and baubles and whatnot. Not for any game. Nice. Just Jen and I were trying. What are we gonna do with these things? They're so adorable. So right now they just kind of sit over there, which Very is cool. I don't know why I still have that overhead view. All right, so we've got this. I've got the thing.
Quick reminder.
Yes.
Quick reminder. I am gonna take off a little early today
to
start my
Remind
stream.
everybody.
Yeah. So everyone who's watching right now, I'm going to take off. So after we record the show, we'll go into some post Q&A. But during that Q&A or whatever we're going to do at the end of the show, I'm going to take a little quick break, and then go live on my channel because I'm going to be showing off way too many cats. It went live this morning on Kickstarter. I don't know how far they've funded so far, but if you're a cat lover, this is the game for you. It's super cute. It's a tile laying game, and I'm going to do a quick little run through right after we finish up with the R&R show here.
Cool.
Stick around for that. Radho, you'll raid me.
Yes,
and
I will raid you.
Return the favor.
Well, actually, Ryan is doing his finale for Lost Ruins of Arnak leader expansion. Okay. So if you could hit him afterwards, that would be great.
Yep. Absolutely.
Keeping it in the Rahdo family. That's always nice.
That's right.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, so we'll remind everybody before we go and we'll do the raid. We already have somebody raiding in mind. Okay. So, hey everybody, this week's episode of the R&R Show brought to you by blah, blah, and how you doing? This and that and the other. Not on the table, but... Right. But we're going to be... So we basically just going to talking about, hey folks, our sponsor is giving away a thing. And how do you win? We talk about that, and then we... and I guess we'll have to say, and don't worry, folks, we'll be back continuing our top 100 of all time very soon. But there are just so many cool games right now. We had to take a break and talk about some of the latest hotness and some cool finds as well. So something like that. Yep. Sound good?
Perfect.
All right, I am starting to warm up now, as promised.
Uh-oh.
Let's see here. My Lord of the Board month is almost over, and in March I will switch to a new channel, and I will boost them for a month. Nice. Our family plays games, and Thinker-Themer shirts are whizzing their way to me even as we speak. To see who shows up
first.
Get
some of those shirts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Alrighty. Okay. So, hang on. We'll be right back, everybody. Everybody okay in chat? I think everything's fine. Of course, you'll know.
Yeah, they're still talking about Kirby.
Oh yeah, but still too much about Kirby. Oh, and right. So, and wait, the early report on Way Too Many Cats looks like it's gotten about a third of the way to funding. So it's on the way, which isn't bad for a little game that probably nobody's heard of. So you'll have to give it some love because you apparently love it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Again, I streamed it yesterday. I'm going to stream it again today because I really enjoy it. And thank you. It's Marty from Weird Giraffe. Cool. Okay, so I'm good to go on this. And let me make sure I got my notes up. Yep, here are my notes. I'm good to go, sir.
Do I have my notes? Let me confirm I have my notes as well. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay, and that's ready to go. Okay, cool. Alrighty. See you on the other side, buddy.
All right.
See how I got all dramatic action hero there? Let's do this thing. And followed by, I'm too old for this bleep. Okay.
Oh, I love it.
Hey everybody, this week's episode of the R&R Show is brought to you by Fun Again Games. And hello, Ruel. Episode 29, are you ready?
I am ready, Richard. 29. So this is actually a special moment for us because your previous show, I believe, was 28 episodes, right?
Yes, it was. Somebody pointed this out to me last week that I had done with Tom Vassell exactly 28 episodes of Corner to Corner. I had a great time doing it, and eventually all good things must come to an end. And I guess the R&R is here to stay because we have crossed that threshold, hitting episode 29.
Yeah, a momentous occasion. Happy to be here, and I'm excited because we've got plenty of great shows coming up. We're going to continue our top 100 games of all time list, but not this week.
No, we're putting that on hold because there are just too many hot new games coming out. And so, once a month, one of the things we do with this show is celebrate some very, very cool things that have just recently hit retail at the sponsor of our show, Fun Again Games. Not only new things, but I don't know about Ruel, I actually found a couple of things that are very, very interesting to me as well that maybe some people haven't heard of. Some really good savings are also going to be talked about today. And it's the perfect time to do it because, folks, did you know you are about to get a chance to win a $50 gift certificate from Fun Again Games? And you could spend it on any of the games we're about to talk about, or anything else for that matter. That 50 can go towards shipping, it can go towards games. And, well, how will one lucky winner get that 50 simoleons?
One lucky winner is what they're going to do is listen to the show. Well, everyone's going to listen to the show, watch the show.
I hope
and they're going to listen for a secret word. One of us is going to say the secret word during the show. And what you need to do, folks, is enter the name of the game that we're talking about. One of us is talking about when we say this secret word. And you'll send that to an email at contest@rahdo.com. And the secret word for this show is widget. WIDGET.
Yes.
Widget. So one of us is going to say it, and when you hear, when you hear it, take note of the game title that we're talking about, and then send that in an email to contest@rahdo.com, and you will be entered to win your very own gift card for Fun Again Games.
Yes. Very, very exciting. We will try to casually put it in. Hopefully you can catch it. If you have a hard time, folks, catching the secret word, I've got good news for you. If you are a subscriber to the show on Twitch when we broadcast live, one of the benefits for subscription, in addition to merch discounts and special exclusive videos, one of them is we'll just come right out and tell you where the secret word is and make your life much, much easier. If you'd like to know a little bit more about that, you can head over to twitch.tv/Rahdo Runs Through, go to the About page, and if you scroll down, you will see everything you know about subscribing. You get that same benefit if you support the show on Patreon, which is patreon.com/Rahdo. All kinds of really cool things, including if you're a fan of this show and every week you're like, I can't find the secret word. Well, if you could throw a single $1 a month, we'll get you a basic subscription on Patreon, and you'll never have to worry about where that secret word is again. But enough of that commercial for me out of the way. We're here to actually count down games. We're going to talk about 10 of them. And how'd you do, Ruel? Are you happy with your list?
I am. Like you said, there's some of the hotness that's out there, but I also I know you and I both do this where we dig around. We want to find some ones that people may not have heard of, and I found at least one that I've never heard of, but maybe you have. I don't know. Maybe some other people did, but I feel like it's a good deal. It's always fun doing these lists, and I'm excited to hear what you have, because I have a feeling that one of your games is something I would have picked, but I know, or that I did pick, but it didn't make the list. Because folks, if you don't know, what we do is we send our top 10s to a third party, a friend of ours, and then they curate that down to a single top 10, and some of to take out any overlap or crossovers and stuff. So I'm excited to see what we got on our list today, Richard.
Well, then let's get going. Why don't you start us off with our number 10 games we would buy right now?
Okay, my number 10 is Haru Ichiban. Haru Ichiban. Have you heard of this game, Richard?
I am familiar with the name, but I don't think I really know anything about this, I have to admit. Yeah, although, for $13, $12.99, I'd be willing to take a chance.
Yeah, and would you take a chance if I told you, and I'm totally going my salesman mode, if I told you a game by Bruno Cathala could be yours for $13?
That's a deal.
Yeah, it's a deal. I'd never heard of this game, But as I was going through the list, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a Bruno Cathala game. It's an abstract game. So it's the Wind of Spring is what this means. And you and your it's a two-player game.
Okay.
It's an abstract. You are apprentice gardeners trying to use the wind to your advantage to create patterns of blossoms on the lily pads. And you have flower buds. And what you're doing is you're selecting where you're going to place these buds. Is it buds or blossoms on the lily pads? And
I think
depending
buds
on the patterns you get,
blossoms, I believe, would be
that's
the
correct.
technical process.
That is correct. Yes, and depending on where you go, it's going to be you're going to score points on what type of patterns you create, and it's one of those games I feel like Michelle and I would like, just because it's got this nice little calm theme of being gardeners and stuff, and yet we know that abstracts can be sometimes a little aggressive.
Yeah.
But we still enjoy them. And the fact that I saw Bruno Cathala's name, I was like, oh my gosh, I like his games. He's done, what is it? Mission to Red Planet, Abyss. He was part of the design duo that did Seven Wonders Duel. I mean, it's Five Tribes is his. King Domino.
And hey, not for nothing,
this
got the 2014 Golden Geek Best Abstract Game nominee. It was one of the best abstract games of that year. So it sounds good.
Yeah, and that's why for $13, why would I would take a flyer on this one, and that's why it's our number 10 on our list. Haru Ichiban.
Okay, I know we promised hotness, folks. We'll be bringing you the hotness soon, but in the meantime, that sounded pretty cool to me. I have to say.
Yeah,
and I apologize
for
that extreme bit of cheesiness.
2014. All right. So that's our number 10. Let's move on.
Well, yes, let's move on, shall we, to number 9, Shinkansen Zero Kei. Shinkansen Zero Kei? Shinkansen Zero Kei? I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, but I really do like the look of it. And this is actually, I believe, the second time we have actually talked about it on the show. It made my most anticipated games for Essen Spiel, if I recall correctly. I was
okay, I remember this now. Yeah. Okay,
And it's now available at retail, and which is actually very cool that Fun Again can find some of those lesser known titles. But to me, it seems very, very cool. I remember the main thing that got me excited about, aside from the theme, where it's Japan, it's the 1964 Olympics, and we are having to make the Tokaido line of the Shinkansen trains. So we're basically doing train lines, but it's not really about the train so much. It's more about engine building. Because what you're doing every round is you're drafting a card and adding it to an ever-increasing engine. It's actually, the cards represent the front and the end of the train that's going to run on your line, and all the different cars will add more and more unique powers to this train that you get to add every single round. But while you're drafting for these to add to your little train engine that will allow you to make lines better and lay claim to territory and all of that, you're also determining what turn order is going to be for the following round. So it's got a very King Domino vibe in that regard. The quicker one you take, maybe it's not as strong, but you'll be quicker in the next round. And when you really care about going first, every time I see that, hey, I'm trying to grab the thing I want, but also the thing that will let me, I don't care about going first. I'd be happy with anything. I would rather take the powerful thing. That always works so well. And the other thing that had me really excited about this, back when we first heard about it, was the designers. This is from the same husband and wife team, I believe, that did Red Cathedral. And Red Cathedral is fantastic. Yeah. Red Cathedral made my top 10 of the year it came out. And so
good.
I am very, very keenly interested in whatever those two come up with next, which is why number 9 on our list is Shinkansen Zero Kei.
Yeah, this game looks cool. I do remember you talking about for the Essen list, and I can see why we are both hyped about this one. Very nice. Okay, let's move on to our number 8. Let me make sure I got this going on here.
Yeah.
Our number 8 is Super Skill Pinball Ramp It Up.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I love pinball. I love roll and write games. I have not played this one. This is a standalone sequel to Super Skill Pinball. This is the standalone Ramp It Up, a standalone sequel. So basically, it's the same game, but they've added 4 new pinball machines or tables with new abilities and stuff like that. I've not played any of these games, and
I
I
am
love
shocked
pinball.
by
I
that.
love roll. Yeah, I'm shocked myself. When I saw on the list, I was like, I need to buy this right now, and I need to play because it combines two of my favorite things in the world: roll and write games, pinball machines. And this one apparently with the new tables, they add I think like an extra flipper on one of them, and I don't know if there was like a tag team mode, which I thought was interesting.
Really?
You're partnering, yeah, you're partnering with another player, and yeah, it's called Pin Pals. It's like wrestlers enter a ring of tag teams of two. So that's interesting. And then you have the High Roller Heist, which has like a classic casino thing to it, and also Top Speed, which is your pinball is a race car. Have you played the original, or have you
Yeah, the
played any of
first
these?
one was Super Sail Pinball 4K, I think was the name of the first
Yeah,
one, with the
yeah.
number 4 in the title. And it was called that
Yep.
because the game comes with 4 completely unique pinball tables
Mhm.
that you can play on in roll and write fashion. And I mean, this game gets so much love. Or I should say
Mhm.
now, not this game, this series, because now we've got a sequel, the sequel to
Yep.
4K, and I mean for such good reason. I mean, it's really sharp, and within the confines of roll and write what do you call it? Conceits. It's amazing how good a job it does at capturing that feel of pinball because
Yeah.
the dice you're drafting represent the you trying to steer the ball over to certain spots. There's all these targets,
Mhm.
but the important thing is the ball is always moving downhill and it's always coming
Yeah.
closer and closer to the flippers, and you're saving stuff to be able to flip them back up. My only complaint about when we played 4K, I thought it was brilliant. If
Uh-huh.
you love pinball and you love roll and rights, you have to do it. But even if you don't care about pinball and you just like roll and rights like us, it's well worth checking out. My only complaint was it did run. Jen, I found a bit long. Now there's a very simple
Okay.
fix for that, which would be our unofficial house rule. By default, you will play and you will get to fire 3 balls like a regular pinball. Your quarter gets you 3 balls. 3 balls was a little long for us. Jen, I found if we just play for 2 balls, it works great and it's
Okay.
fantastic. A
Nice.
wonderful, fast playing, incredibly, much more thematic than Roast Roll and Rights. I agree. Good call.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I'm really I don't know what I'm doing in my life, Rahdo. If I can't even play this game, it's like it hits on all the cylinders for me. I don't know why I haven't played it, but
I
one of
know.
these days, and yeah, one of these days I will play it. I'm looking forward to it.
I do not
Okay.
understand how that has not happened. I mean, and
Yeah.
definitely, and plus the other thing, you consider this is a sequel. Chances are it builds on the strengths of the previous one and becomes even
Right.
better. That's generally the
That's right.
way things tend to work.
Yep.
So good call.
Okay.
That
Cool.
was
Thank you.
number 8.
Let's
All right.
yeah. Let's see what our number 6 or 7 is.
Number 7 is Farlight. And now this one, I would not be surprised. I have to admit, I hadn't heard of it myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of recognize the name. I think it came out
Yeah.
in 2017. And the thing that really got my
Okay.
attention, as I was looking around at all the new hot stuff, I admit I like to look at the clearance section. I also like to look
Yep.
at the ding and dent section. And when I saw this thing
Yeah.
here for under $20, and I saw, you know what? I think I heard it. I should look at it. And I looked at it and said, well, okay, that looks really nice. And so last night, while I was doing my research, I got on Board Game Geek and watched a couple videos. This looks really good. And I think this is going to be one of those games that's flying under the radar. Everybody says, why? When they play it, why didn't this catch fire? Because it is a game about, it's a science fiction setting. We are doing 2 things. We're composed of 2 things. We're building our spaceship. And I don't think there's any pictures of it here, but that gives me really strong Galaxy Trucker vibes. Because it's all about, getting tiles and snapping them together and, getting them to work. There's no real time at all. Imagine the building your ship of
Okay.
Galaxy Trucker without the real time competition. Instead, we are bidding to get all the different pieces that we want to add to our ships. And you can see they're just kind of just slightly off screen there. But they come together and you're trying to get it so you can do certain things and all that. But the bidding is a simultaneous silent auction. And normally, that's something that I would hate. Jen and I, we often find that, simultaneous bidding is like very frustrating because, okay, well, I'll bid 5 and I wasted because you only bid 1. Or you thought it was really important and you bid a 4 and that was the one time I bid a 5. And, it works and it's generally interesting with more players, but as a 2-player game, it can be a little cutthroat. But here's the thing that is so brilliant about this design that all blind bid.
Oh, Rahdo, volume. Lost our volume. Did I lose you? Okay, lost Rahdo. Okay. Just heard something. Click. Oh, there's the booms. Okay, now I can hear
folks. We've been gremlin free for so long. But all right, I guess I'm not out of the woods. I need to spend a little bit more time focusing on my audio. Sorry, but let's see. What was I just saying? Okay, so I'm not the biggest fan of blind bidding auctions. In this game, you actually put several bids out, either on the pieces of the ships you want to grab or the missions you want to send your ship on. Some of them are low, some of them are high, some of them might be bluffs, to scare people away. I'm going to get this for really cheap, and that's what somebody else wants too. So I like it in theory, but I've played games like this in practice, and they're often frustrating. The thing I love about this is every time you get outbid, or every time you bid, when you put your bid out, you can also include these little worker pieces that will buff your bid up, kind of like the squires in Lancaster. And so I might put a really low bid out, but then buff it up with a lot of these little extra astronauts. And is that going to scare people away? Is that going to make people more interested in what I'm doing there? But the thing is, if I get outbid, that's how I get more of these. So there's no losing. No matter what, whether you get what you want or not, you are going to come away with something. It's either going to make you stronger because you got the mission you want or the piece for your ship, or you're going to be stronger in future auctions because you're just basically making money so you can outbid when there's something you really, really need. It kind of, in that regard, reminds me of the dice rolling in Castles of Burgundy. These dice did not give me what I want. They gave me workers, and those workers are going to help me in the future. That's a thing that makes Castles of Burgundy one of my top 10 games of all time. And I'm not saying Farlight is going to make one of my top 10s of all time, but I suspect Farlight has the potential to get me and Jen engaged in a meaningful way, because we love the shipbuilding in Galaxy Trucker, but we're not always in the mood for a really raucous, high energy, running full steam ahead, real time game. This is we do like auctions, and I love the idea of fixing blind bidding, which is why Farlight comes in at number 7.
Wow. Yeah, this wasn't even on my radar. It totally not even close. And that bidding system, I think that sounds really interesting. That I would love to play it. That looks really cool. Great choice.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to our number 6, which is number 6 is the Quacks of Quedlinburg, the Alchemists.
Of
course.
The
Quacks of Quedlinburg, this is an expansion for the base game, and I think it's a modern classic. I love the Quacks of Quedlinburg. It is a bag building game, a lot of push your luck. And I've actually played the previous expansion, the Herb Witches, and I'm interested in this because I have not played this expansion yet, the Alchemist. The Herb Witches, they included new ingredients, some I think special powers, and there wasn't much to find here, but it seems like it's adding even more stuff to the base of Quacks, which I am all for. I really think it's a wonderful game, a wonderful push your luck game. Have you been able to play this yet? The Alchemist
No, I have
expansion?
not. I have only played the base Quacks, which you're right is a very, very cool push your luck, and obviously incredibly popular, one of the biggest hits in years, and no surprise that they're bringing more expansions out for it. It looks like it comes with a bunch of stuff. I mean, all these new beakers and whatnot that looks like it's like a whole other progress track you're trying to follow. A bunch of new playable characters.
According to the site, it's nightmares, obsession, and hysteria. So we got some crazy stuff going on with Quacks here. You see it there. It's on sale. I think it's one of those games that you're gonna see even more content or more expansion content because it's such a big hit. I don't know who owns the license. It used to be North Star, but didn't they get rid of it or did they keep it? I forgot what.
I'm not sure. This is from Schmidt Spiele, which is
maybe But anyways, if you haven't played this yet, folks, definitely give the base game a shot. If you like push your luck and just the bag building, it's really really fun. And then see if the expansions are for you. That's why it's on our list at number 6, the Quacks of Quedlinburg, the Alchemists.
Okay, cool. Well, then we will move on. That was an expansion. We don't often put expansions. Now that I think about it.
I know, and I saw this. I was like, oh, I have to put it on there because I love Quacks so much, and I haven't played this one. I've only played the Herb Witches on Tabletop Simulator. Actually, I just demoed it, and that was great. But so I had no idea about this, and I was like, okay, I would definitely buy this one. All right.
Well, as a spoiler alert, that will not be our last expansion today. There's some very cool expansions that are available. But before we get to those, we're going to talk about our number 5, Corrosion. which
Oh,
made my top 10 games of the year. This is easily one of the best engine builders I've played in a long time. I absolutely adore it. And when I saw that it was available, I figured, okay, I'm just happy to take another opportunity to talk about it. Because while it does a bunch of stuff, I mean, there's a lot of really cool ideas here. I think what is most important for me is the way it captures the passage of time, kind of like Zolkin the Mayan calendar, because everybody has this wheel in front of them that represents their factory, and around this wheel you place your engineers who will do work for you. You place gadgets and gizmos and widgets all over the place that you're trying to construct, or you're trying to run them to be able to generate more gadgets and gizmos and widgets all over the place to score lots of points. And the thing is, when you put something in your factory, depending on what type of thing it is, either it will be able to activate for several turns of that wheel, or it won't activate until you turn the wheel to it. Or it'll be something that activates immediately, but then you can't get it back until you turn your wheel to it. And so all these different things all center around the passage of time, which is represented by this wheel turning on your board. And the tension comes from the fact that, okay, I need this wheel to turn because I need this engineer back in my hand. I desperately need to use her special power. But if I turn the wheel to get that engineer back, I am also going to corrode away my most valuable machine, the one that's really producing for me. And so you're constantly having to make really interesting trade-offs, because the whole point of this is we are in a kind of steampunk industrial factory. There's steam everywhere. Everything is corroding away in front of us. Even the resources, the money that we use to build our stuff, can corrode away to nothing if we don't spend it fast enough. And now what you can do is you can turn back time. You can say, I am not going to turn this wheel. I'm going to try and get the most I can out of this machine. But if you're doing that, and I am actually making time move forward really, really quickly and letting all my stuff corrode, but I'm constantly replacing it with new and different stuff, and that means I'm getting my best engineers back faster so I can use them that much more quickly, it becomes a very engaging race. And I absolutely love it. It's got wonderful components. The money in this game is gears, or cogs and whatnot, and the most expensive ones have this really cool shiny veneer on them because they're made out of chrome, because chrome never corrodes, and that's the most valuable thing in this world: chrome machines and chrome energy. But those are super expensive, and you'll have to sacrifice a lot of stuff along the way to the gods of corrosion to be able to hit those really, really big things in our number 5 on the list, corrosion.
Yeah, I remember you talking about this before,
Yeah.
and it looks wonderful. I love the time element and how that's played with in this game. Looks fantastic. Now, didn't this get picked up by gosh, what company?
By
It's a company we
Capstone.
really enjoyed.
Capstone.
Capstone, that's right. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So yeah, looking forward to getting that on the table. Okay, let's move on to our number 4. Now this one is something I'm pretty sure that it didn't make your personal list, but I think it's wonderful. It's going to be Radlands from Roxley Games.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. This is I know this is more. This is a in your face type of game. You are a leader of a post-apocalyptic group trying to survive. And you're going against your rival tribes. It's a hand management game with a bunch of take that, and it's not for everyone. But what you're doing, you're drawing cards from the same deck and playing those in order to use abilities. And again, you're trying to manage your resource of water, and eventually one of the tribes is going to win. Hopefully yours. But this one. I just talked about that game Rift Force recently, which I was surprised Michelle and I really enjoyed it. Now this isn't Rift Force, but it's got that similar mano a mano battle type of game. But that's why I thought number 4, Radlands.
Yeah. This one, you'd be surprised. I know a little bit more about it than you'd think. Normally not my kind of thing. 2 players going mano a mano, head to head, trying to destroy each other. But folks will be able to see a run through of this on the Rahdo Runs Through channel very soon, from a completely new contributor who is this will be their big debut, and I'm super excited. They just did their first attempt of it, and it was so. And I mentioned all this not to big up the show or whatnot. Hey, we're getting another contributor. Kim Tolson joined a couple of weeks ago, did a fantastic run through of the Seven Wonders Architects. We'll be having another new contributor doing an amazing run through of Radlands for you very soon. But I mentioned all this because wow, it looks good. Jeez
Yeah.
Louise, I was
Yeah.
not. I mean, this was so off my radar. I so didn't care about it. For folks who don't know, we're actually streaming this live on February 22nd, 22. Tuesday, Tuesday. And I'm looking over there in the chat, and folks are saying this is literally the best one-on-one I've played in years. Everybody loves this game. So I am not surprised at all that you put this one from Roxley on the list.
Yeah.
There's not much in the way to show, but yeah. Oh,
yeah, I was gonna say I'm excited because I think I know who you're talking about as far as the new contributors. I'm not gonna spoil it here, but I am so glad that that the contributor picked this game because it just looks fantastic, and I'm excited about it. So that's why it's our number 4, Radlands.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that is a smart one, honestly. And I'm so glad I saw that run through, and I can't wait for everybody else to get to see it too. Because when you see it, you'll see this is a sharp game from a very sharp new contributor to the channel. I'm very excited. Okay, cool. But Ruel, earlier I mentioned we weren't one and done on the expansions. We've got another one to talk about. It's our number 3, Lost Ruins of Arnak Leaders.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, here's the only thing that I'm surprised about here, how this is on my list instead of yours. Because I know you love Arnak as well.
Yeah.
Did you just not put it on because you thought I was going to?
Yeah, no, it was actually, I had 2 expansions. It was going to be this one or Quacks, and I figured this one probably going to make your list, so that's why I went with the Quacks expansion instead. But,
yeah, well, this one...
go
on.
Real quick, you want to update the little...
I sure do.
There?
I forgot to hit Control S. That's a smart idea. Right. Yes, number 3, the Lost Ruins of Arnak Leaders. Or Expedition Leaders, I should say. Let me go on ahead and fix that while we're at it. Expedition Leaders. Okay, so
I am definitely looking forward to this one. This is wonderful.
I think by now everybody knows Lost Ruins of Arnak. Is one of the biggest hits in years from Czech Games Edition. A really wonderful melding of deck building and worker placement with Indiana Jones vibe. It just fires on all cylinders. My only complaint I'd ever really had about the original Lost Ruins of Arnak is, this works really great, but much like the original Dominion, you kind of get a little tired of seeing those same cards over and you want some more stuff. Oh my gosh, that's all I wanted out of Expedition Leaders, and it delivers a lot of really cool new cards with interesting effects and all that, but it goes so much above and beyond because the real draw is the leaders. Everybody gets a special leader with a very asymmetric ability that radically changes the feel of the game. And you get your own starting unique deck of cards. Not everybody starts with the exact same deck of cards anymore. And so every time you play this game, even if the exact same cards and the exact same opportunities are in the world, just switching who you're going to play as so radically mixes it up. But then on top of that, you end up throwing in all these very cool new cards, 2 new research tracks that you can put over onto the board that create new interesting opportunities as you focus on the research, as opposed to the exploration. So many cool new ideas here, and this truly makes it for me a complete game that is never going to leave my shelf now. It's kind of like the same thing. Most people think, Dominion is great, but it's not really until you get that prosperity expansion. They're like, okay, now it's arrived. That's what Lost Ruins of Arnak Expedition Leaders is. It is a rare must-have expansion. Because if you love Lost Ruins of Arnak, or if you've just been thinking about it, oh man, this so puts it over the top. And I cannot speak highly of it enough. Number 3, Lost Ruins of Arnak Expedition Leaders.
Yeah, it's been universally praised for good reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it's a must-have, and this one I need to add. I don't have it yet. I have the base game, but I need to add this to my copy as well. All right, great choice.
Okay.
Let's move on to our number 2. Number 2 is Wonderbook, and I don't know if you've seen this one yet, but you take one look at this. It's like, talking about table presence. Friends,
let's talk about that table presence.
Yeah, I got to see this at Gen Con, and literally the entire convention that booth was swamped with people. Like, I could not get a close look at this. I was able to look at it, but there were people at that booth the entire time because it's literally a 3D pop-up book, just like the ones we had when we were kids.
Mm-hmm. I would not say that. I remember the ones we had as kids. This takes it a lot farther than those.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so it takes the concept of 3D books as the ones we had with kids and takes it a new level. It's a cooperative adventure game, and you're going to be doing some dice rolling, a little hand management as well, and you're working together to get through each of the chapters. And what's so amazing is each chapter is a different pop-up. So you're going to turn that page over, Rahdo, and the next page is going to pop up. And you are actually putting your little minis on top of the things that are popping up, too. I mean, it's got, oh my gosh, just based on the components alone, I was fired up about this. And just reading some of the reviews, seeing some of the videos and stuff, people are hyped about it. I think for good reason. I mean, it just, oh my gosh, that tree. I mean, it takes the Everdell tree and makes it a part of the story, right? Where the Everdell tree, that's just holding components. This is actually part of the story. You're actually going to be playing this, and that's why we chose our number 2 Wonder Book.
Yeah, we promised hot games, folks. I suspect this is going to be a really big deal. As I understand, it's a little bit on the lighter side. It is kind of a gateway family, so don't expect to be it competing with Gloomhaven or anything like that. But,
right.
I mean, who cares? Right. I want to play this so much, and I seriously considered putting this on my list. But I knew there was no way you weren't going to put it on my list or our list to combine. So I mean that is just it is gobsmacking to look at. I want to open this thing up in real life and have that experience. So cool.
Same.
So cool.
Okay.
But folks,
so we've got one game left, and I'm pretty sure I know what it is. It's in my head right now.
Are you serious?
And,
that is.
Yeah.
We've never done that before. Do you want to do a 3, 2, 1 and see if you get it right? And if not, it'll be on number 11 on the list, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, a 3, 2, 1, and I'll press save, and you can see if you got it right. So, folks, our number 1 of games or expansions, because we've had some expansions today, that we would buy right now, number 1 is 3, 2, 1.
Concordia.
How did you know? How did you know? I thought for sure you were not going to know. I thought this was going to be a very embarrassing thing for you, and we were going to have to talk about a number 11 or all of a sudden.
We are locked in, my friend. The only thing I wasn't sure how to pronounce that, Solitaria or
I believe that is correct. I believe it is Concordia Solitaria.
Yeah.
An expansion for Concordia that turns it. Originally, this was designed, you can tell by its name, to create engaging solo play for Concordia. And here's the deal, folks. I've actually played this. I played this. Gosh, like probably 8 months ago, because I got I was on the beta testing list, and so I was able to play it with prototypes. I actually even did a special Patreon backer only early sneak peek of it that people got to see it actually in action. It works so well. And basically, the way it works is, if you're going to play solo, but we'll come back because it's a 1 or 2 player game, which I didn't know until I was reading about last night. The way it works is, if you know Concordia at all, Concordia is a hand-building game where you've got all these different cards that represent all the different actions you can do in ancient Rome as you're trying to, expand your dominion, across whatever map you're playing on. And, it's a game where, okay, I play a card. I want that card back. And I have to spend an entire turn just getting my cards back into my hand. And, how far can you push before you eventually have to take a break and get all your cards back? Concordia it's Macgert's masterpiece. Everybody loves it. It's in the top 100 of Board Game Geek, one of the best 100 best games of all time, and I would stand by that. It's so rich and wonderful and rewarding, and it's got so much expansion content. But here's what Solitaria does. It comes with a new set of cards that if you're playing with them, every time I choose to call upon the Architect or the Tribute or the Senator or the Merchant or whatever it is, I do the normal thing I would always do in the game. But now this card says, and now here's what the automated opponent you're playing against will do. And oh my gosh, this automated opponent is brilliant. And these cards are so smartly designed because it's designed so that, hey, every time I want to do a thing, what do you know? They just happen to do the thing that is like perfectly chosen to get in my way. And the thing is, it's my fault that they do that. I know that's what they're going to do when I play the card. It's such a brilliant, simple little system, and it works wonders. And some people might think, does that mean it's just really predictive? No, it doesn't, because a lot of their cards have you roll dice. So you don't know exactly where they're going to go. You have an idea, and you're like, okay, I'm going to play this anyway, and I hope this works out. And yes! Okay, they zigged when I thought I was afraid they were going to zag. And it's just super satisfying. It worked so nicely. I played an early, kind of pre-alpha version of it, and I was blown away. And it's now finally available in box form. And I didn't know at the time that they were going to expand it to where it can now turn Concordia into a 2-player cooperative game. And that blows my mind.
There it is.
I love cooperative stuff. Both Jen and I love Concordia, although it can be it can be pretty brutal. I mean, players can cut each other off and make things too expensive for each other. But working together against these really smart, and Jen says, "I have to do this." No, you'll let the Solitaria do the thing, and like, no, but I have to. Okay, well, tell you what. Okay, if you're gonna do that, then I'm gonna be prepared to do this on my turn. I haven't played it co-op, but I can imagine having seen it in action in solo. Oh my gosh, I must have this. This is, I'd always liked it because, solo's nice, but I'm not the biggest solo gamer in the world. But when I found out it turns Concordia, one of the best Euros of all time, into a fully functioning co-op game, if it does it even half as good as it made it a solo game, well, there's good reason it is number one on the list, Concordia Solitaria.
Yeah. Again, all the reasons you stated, I'm pumped for this game, and I am a solo gamer, and this is one of those games. Like, I remember back in the day when I first got in Concordia, I would be on the BGG forums looking at under variants. Is there a solo variant for this? And there might have been like one or two, but they were clunky or whatever. But this right here, this is the one I want to play. And actually, I don't think Michelle's ever played this. I think she might like this as a cooperative game. And now that as you talked about it, I think this might be the one to introduce her to Concordia.
Yep, so, Concordia can be a tough game to introduce because it's so dry. It is a dusty, dry game, but oh man, I love it so much. Jen, the first time we played Concordia, it didn't really sit with her. It wasn't until we tried the England map, the Britannia map, because she has such a love for because we lived in England for over a decade. That's what really. And now she loves it even more than I do. And I got to play it solo. I cannot wait to experience this cooperatively. I mean, ever since which expansion was it that introduced team play, which was very, very cool. But then you need like 4 players.
Was that Venus?
Yes, Venus introduced team play. I want to try that too, but that pales in comparison to how badly I want to play a cooperative game of Concordia with my wife. So that's our number 1. That's our top 10, folks. Some hot news stuff. Okay. I think a few surprising things along the way as well. But the question is, did you hear Ruel or did you hear me say the secret word at any given time? Because if so...
You did, yeah.
Yep. Send that email to contest@rahdo.com, and in the subject, name the game. Not the word, which was widget. But when one of us said widget, what game were we talking about? Send that game out to us, and you will be entered to win. You have until basically what? I would say 11 a.m. PST on March 1st. If it's past that time, you don't have to send the email anymore. I'm sorry you missed your chance. But
and actually, then, is March 1st, I think we're bumping it up a day.
Yes!
Right?
Oh, thank heavens.
Let's be careful about that. Yeah. So, friends, next week, we are actually moving the R&R show one day early. So you have less than a week now to get your contest@rahdo.com entry in, because we're going to be filming on Monday this time. And because we're going to Dice Tower West.
We sure are. Yep.
It's a travel day for us.
Very excited.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, so folks, that was it. Another one in the bag. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you found a few interesting things that maybe you hadn't heard of here or there. And otherwise, I think we are ready to skidoo. You have any final words, Ruel?
No, but I'm ready to skidoo.
Okay,
so
then
let's
skidoo we shall, and we'll see you folks again next week. Next time, we'll be doing a countdown of hot, exciting, up-and-coming Kickstarter games, and then the week after that, we will return to our top 100 of all time, and I can't wait to get back to that too. So, thank you very much, folks, for watching. Thank you, Ruel, for going on the journey with me once again 29 times now. You outlasted Tom Vassell, sir. Congratulations.
Well, never would have thought, but I am happy for our first 29. I'm looking forward to the next 29, my friend.
All righty. Well, and finally, thanks to the sponsor of the show, Fun Again Games. Have a very nice day, everybody. Talk to you later. So long. Bye-bye. Hello. Hey, everybody. Very sorry,
Hello.
Raiders from Tantalus. Welcome party. Hopefully, it wasn't too terribly confusing. We were filming, we couldn't say hello. Thank you for the good vibes. Duck of Death 5. I think that went pretty well. I am very bummed. I thought the microphone stuff was behind us. That just
that
came
was.
out of
I mean,
freaking nowhere.
thankfully we caught it quickly. Yeah, I mean, and thankfully it was a quick fix. So yeah, that's a bummer. Real quick, I got some now, folks. Just a reminder, I'm going to take off a little early today because I'm going to be doing a run through live on my Twitch channel of Way Too Many Cats, and I am taking a page out of the R&R Show, folks. We're giving away a copy of a one backing for Way Too Many Cats. So if you join me, U.S. only, but one of you is going to win a copy of the new game from Weird Giraffe Games, Way Too Many Cats.
I have to admit,
we
there
do
have
have
been,
some,
over the last few months, Way Too Many Cats has always been there on the list of potential things we could talk about, upcoming Kickstarters.
Yeah.
And the number of times I have almost put it on my list because it just looks so good. It looks really adorable. I think it's got smart gameplay. I cannot wait to see you giving it a go.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We do have some time for Q&A. Let's take a couple of questions.
Yes.
I'm going to take a break and set up. So here's a question that we always enjoy talking about. Which games from your original list did not make to the final 10?
Yes, let's do that. First of all, folks, so thank you to whoever asked that, because that is a very important question. Let's see. Do you have your list? I've got it here on my phone. I've got to scroll and find it.
Yep. I can talk about mine while you find yours.
Alrighty.
On my list was Can't Stop, the second edition. That's the classic Sid Saxon Push Your Luck game.
Okay.
I have an older version. I figured, hey, why not? I'd try the second edition. The other game that did not make it for me was Air, Land, and Sea, Critters at War. Have you played Air, Land, and Sea, the two-player game from Arcane Wonders?
I never have, and I doubt I ever will. I mean, it's a game about just destroying each other in air, land, and sea combat, right?
It is. But I figured, hey, this has been rethemed with cute critters. Like, I mean, it looks like a root. And I was like, why not? You can play with these critters, right? So that's what that was on my list as well. The other ones were I put this on here because I loved it so much. Stella Dixit Universe. I mean, I loved it, and it's on sale right now. And the final, or one of them was Concordia Solitaria, and the other one was a roll and write called Trek 12 Himalaya.
Oh my gosh!
From Pandasaurus.
Wow,
that one's supposed to be good. Yeah.
Hey, my number 8 was Trek 12 Himalaya.
Okay, yeah,
I really, especially, it's interesting, they on Fun Again, they have Trek 12 Himalaya. There's an expansion, I don't know if it's come out or if it's about to come out. It's called Trek 12 Plus, that adds like this whole story mode campaign with like a comic book in it and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's really taking narrative in roll and writes to the next level. So I would have definitely talked about that. I was kind of hoping it would be on yours. So we were kind of on the same line. Also, Stella was my number 7. Because I had set, and I really, it almost pushed its way in, but I don't know. I'm still, I have to. I'm so excited about the Shinkansen Zero Kei because of Red Cathedral. So that just kept. I just couldn't quite make it across that line. What else did I have? Let's see. I had Vivid Memories. I noticed Vivid Memory. I don't think I'd seen it before, and this is such a fantastic game. I'm generally not one for abstracts, but I really love this one because it's so much richer, and honestly, I love it because it's so much more complex. I appreciate abstracts are supposed to be all about simple, elegant, streamlined gameplay. I love one that's got a lot more going on, that has, it's more like a proper Euro in that regard, while still being kind of abstract. And then I had 2 really goofy ones. My number 10 on the list. And it was so low because, well, for obvious reasons, it was Kanban EV. When I logged on and saw they were doing a special for it, and I'm like, I want Kanban EV so bad, and I want that expansion, and I want the metal cars, and I want all of it. But oh my gosh, is it expensive?
Yeah. Like, what was it, like $150 or something?
Something like that. Or no, the deluxe one with the metal cars instead of the wooden cars. Although, honestly, I think the wooden cars look awesome. I kind of almost like them better than the metal cars. I think that's the 150 or the 140, and then like the two, it's 200 for the super one. So,
oh my gosh.
I mean, it's like that would be my number 2 in terms of how bad I want it. But I do take price into account.
I do too.
Yeah, exactly.
I definitely do.
I don't want it that much, but I want it. It's my precious. I mean, I got rid of my regular Kanban because I want EV so bad. Anyway, and oddly, the odd comparison, my number 10 was the super expensive one. My number 9 was Matainai. I don't understand how we missed this, because the last time we did a Fun Again thing, it was games under 20, and Matainai is on there for $11.
Oh, wow.
And Matainai, for anybody who is, bitterly regretting not having been in the industry and gotten a chance to play Glory to Rome, Matainai is about as close as you can get to Glory to Rome. I know
Yeah.
there's other ones, but this one is from Carl Chuddik, and I mean
Carl
it's
Chuddik,
such a
yeah.
great game. It's Glory to Rome that you'll play in 20 minutes with just a deck of cards. It's absolutely brilliant, and I'm kicking myself. Why didn't that make our top 10 under 20? So I wanted to
Yeah.
rectify that by talking about it this week.
I was now that I think about it, it may have been out of stock when we did that list. It may have been out of stock when we did that list.
And that's why I saw it, because every week when we do this,
Yeah.
I just go
Yeah.
into all the sections and I sort by what's new. And thinking about it,
Right.
why would Motainai be shown? You're right, they must have gotten it back in stock.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
for $11, everybody should own this game if they like thinky, puzzly Euro
Yeah.
card games. So
Multi-use cards, yeah.
yeah. And it's
Nice.
just the only reason it didn't come in higher is because it's definitely not hot. There's nothing hot about
Yeah,
it, but
no.
I do loves it so much. So yeah.
Cool.
So there were a few more folks
Okay.
for you to think about.
Yeah.
All right, any
folks,
other
again, if you
questions?
want to ask questions, we type a question mark first, so it goes in our little queue here.
Yes,
That we
yes.
can highlight. I'm gonna highlight this one from Little Buster. He said, "What is your favorite color, Ruel? Need to know for a project."
Well, that's mysterious.
I don't know what type of project you're doing, but I'll let you know. My favorite color is Dodger Blue. Yes, that is an official color, Dodger Blue.
Well, I don't know what the project is, but I do know who Little Buster is, and whatever
Oh,
they've got
okay.
in mind, you should be very excited. Little Buster
okay.
are, I'm not going to reveal, I'm not going to out anybody, but they are super
okay.
crafty folks.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. I'm excited now. Forest of Glass asks, if I have near and far and above and below, do I need now or never?
Well, the thing
I've
is,
only played near and far.
okay, well, if you have those, I'm assuming you love them. And you're going to love this too. It's a very different feeling. It's actually interesting. It's kind of a cross between because was it Above and Below was a bit more Euro-y. A bit, it had a tiny little bits of adventure, but it was mostly about worker placement management and stuff like that. And Near and Far had a little bit of that, but it was mostly adventure-y stuff, really focusing on traveling the world and having your encounters and using your resources wisely. This game melds the two into something completely new and different. If I could only own one of those, it would be Now or Never. I think it is the best of his series. I think it is literally Ryan Lockett's best game to date. Now, this is only based on the prototype. I have not gotten the final version yet, but I really do hope to play it some more because it really pushes the agenda, the adventure storybook agenda, learning more about your character, getting things across multiple campaign games and all of that. But it is a very rich, deep. It's got a rich, deep Euro game too. That the closest I can liken it to an old Rudiger Dorn classic, Goa. Goa has this really interesting drafting element where once you've drafted one thing, the next thing you draft has to be adjacent to the thing you got. So where you start grabbing things determines, like, you start snaking a route through all the things you want. This game does that, but then it says, the things you're drafting, you then build them in a different place, and you have to expand from where you are. So there's a lot of really, I would have been happy if all the adventuring stuff had just been dropped and it had just been this really cool tile drafting, tile laying game. But then it's also his best iteration on all the cool adventure stuff too. It is very different. It feels like the same because it's the same art. It's the same universe from the same designer artist. But it is definitely different gameplay, and it is, I think, his best.
Awesome.
All right.
I need to try it. Real quick, our friend Franks asks, do either of you plan to go any board game conventions in the coming months? We're going to one next
in
week.
the coming days. We both do.
Yeah. Folks, if you're going to be in anywhere near Las Vegas, we're going to be both at Dice Tower West. And this is going to be fun because we're going to be doing an R&R live show at the convention. So that's not this coming Friday, but the following Friday. I think it's the 3rd or 4th or whatever. Friday, we will be doing a live R&R show.
The 4th.
So come on out.
Yes,
hang out
if you
with us.
find yourself in Lost Wages, Nevada, which is what my father-in-law loves calling it.
Nice.
That one's for you, Ed. If you find yourself in Lost Wages and you're over by it's the whole thing's at the hotel where Penn and Teller do their show, right?
Yes, the Rio.
The Rio.
That's correct.
On Friday, you can watch us do whatever it is we do live in front of a studio audience, and I'm very nervous because we have no idea what it's going to be, but we'll figure it out.
We will figure out. And you know what's cool too? This is actually gonna be the first time we meet in person, Richard.
Is that true?
Right? Yeah. Have we ever
You
met
are right.
in person? I don't think so.
We have never
Yeah.
met in. Wow, that blows my mind. Well, that's even
Yeah,
cooler.
right?
We can avoid each other for the entire time and literally meet for the first time on stage in front of audience. I don't think we're going to do that though. But that would be really
hilarious.
So that's cool. So yeah,
so I'm looking forward to it.
Do you have any other plans for the rest of the year? Because I think I think everybody knows we're going to be there next week.
Yeah.
Anything else for you?
Yeah. So Dice Tower West. I just got my pass for Gen Con. So I'm planning on going to Gen Con. On my bucket list, Michelle and I, we've always wanted to go to Essen. That's the one we really want to go to. I don't know if it's going to happen this year.
Yeah.
But definitely hopefully next year. But outside of those, I don't really have any plans. What about you?
None
as far as conventions?
at all.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so much work. And so I don't know. We'll play it by ear. We'll see how well this goes. Because really, the main reason I tend to go to these conventions, it's nice to meet everybody and hear kind, positive, upbeat words about the show and how much it means to people. I absolutely love that. But the real reason we go is because my wife makes gamer glass.art.
Yeah.
And when we go, she tends to get a stand. And she's there to sell. She is there, and she makes up a significant portion of her yearly proceeds. We're selling gamer glass paraphernalia, accessories at these conventions. The interesting thing is, Jen has recently discovered these exclusive Facebook shows she could do that do almost as much business, and she gets to do them from the comfort of her recliner.
Wow.
And so she's been doing these more and more and more. So this is going to be really interesting to see if because if this is if this says okay and she realizes, well, I could make almost as much money for a fraction of the work. This might be our last convention. I don't really know. I mean, I don't get me wrong. Wow. I love Dice Tower West. I love going to Board Game Geek Con. I've been to both the mid-year one and the one at the end of the year. I really do enjoy them, and it's a great place to see a bunch of games that I can't see any other way. I mean, that happens every single time. That's going to happen next week. I got a list as long as my arms of things I definitely want to play that are going to be there in the library. But we'll see, because oh man, it's a lot of work and it's expensive. It's so expensive.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate because I'm in California, so I can actually drive there. I don't have to book a flight.
That would be handy indeed.
Yeah, that definitely helps on my end, because these things get expensive. I mean, last year going to Gen Con, like I did Gen Con and Stillmeyer Design Day back to back, and that cost me a pretty penny, and I don't know if I'm going to do that this year. Yep. But yeah, folks, if you're going to be at Dice Tower West, feel free to say hi. I'm definitely down to say hi and maybe play a game. We'll see.
Yeah.
I am also helping coordinate the 3C Con event, which is the Content Creator Community event at Dice Tower West. We're gonna have a section where you can meet all kinds of content creators and hang out, play games with them. Love it if you come by, say hi. If you say hi, folks, you say hi to me, I may have a button for you. Michelle and I, we actually bought a button making machine, Richard, and we made a bunch of buttons. And we have a Tabletop Tonight button that we're going to be giving out. So, folks, if you're a fan of the R&R Show, come up and say hi, and you will get yourself a button. As long as supplies last.
Yeah, while supplies last. Get yours soon. That reminds me. Hold on a second. I got to get up and get something. I'm going to make an announcement, which I had totally forgotten about months ago. I'll be right back.
Oh, cool. Okay, I'm excited about this. I have no idea what Richard's going to do. But yeah, Dice Tower West, Michelle and I are going to be there. Now, I'm going to be there the entire convention. Michelle's, because of work, she's going to fly in like later in the week, so she'll join me then. But we would love to meet a bunch of you and hang out, and I'm ready for the surprise. What's the surprise announcement?
Here's a surprise. Let me open one of these. It won't show very well with the reflective plastic. Anybody who comes up to Jen's booth, we're going to be doing a gift with purchase this year, which I don't think she's ever done before. If you're a fan of Everdell, come and check Jen out, because we've got this. The Rahdo Runs card.
Oh my gosh, what?
Yep. Oh. It's a set of 3, just shuffles into the big ginormous deck of cards you play when you're playing Everdell. Here's the thing, Ruel. A couple of months ago, the developers contacted me and said, "Hey, we're making some specific content creator fun themed ones. Would you be at all interested in that?" And I thought, yeah, sure, that's cool. Because I thought that just meant, they're going to show up in the next expansion or something like that. And then I promptly forgot about it. And then cut to like 10 months later, a box. I think I don't know how many hundreds of these I've got. Let's see. Oh, is this messing up the green screen? Let me Let's see here. There you go. You can maybe see them a little bit better without the green
Okay.
screen stuff. Yeah,
Wow.
I thought these were just going to be, but no, they just sent them to me so that I could give them away somehow. And I've had no idea what to do with these things. I do love the live and let live. That's my motto as a Care Bear.
Nice. That's
it's too bad it's not a little
Oh my
bear
gosh.
running through there, but it is somebody running. And you can see it's very much very akin to my Rahdo runs through logo.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we've got a lifetime supply of these, and so we'll be bringing a case of them down, and this is going to be a nice little bonus that you can get. I'm sure we will not get rid of them at all. So I need to figure out what else to do with these things. I'm not really quite sure, but this will be the first time that they are rolled out. So definitely swing by and say hi, and you can get a little something for a loved one who loves Everdell.
I love the fact that what critter was that? It looked like they had a little video camera. A lizard, yeah. I mean, it looks like you have the little video camera. It's like,
yes, he does. Yeah, I think it's a little telescope. And he's got like some stuff under his arm instead of the board game under the box. So it's very cleverly done. Really, really nice.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Oh, wow. That's great. I love it. So, friends, again, Dice Star West, you can pick up your very own gift with purchase there. Rahdo runs through Everdell. We've got about 8 minutes left. I'm going to go.
You have to bail, don't you? Okay, I will take over the remainder of the Q&A. I've got it queued up here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I appreciate y'all. Again, stick around for the raid. You will get extra Rahdo points by sticking around for the raid. And if you're a U.S. resident, I mean, you can watch, anyone can watch my stream of the game. But if you're a U.S. resident, you will have a chance to win one as well. So way too many cats on Kickstarter now. And that's it for me. Thank you again, Richard. And I'll see the rest of y'all in a few minutes.
Yeah, I'll see you next week in person.
All right. Yes. Looking forward to it.
All righty. Alrighty, let me go on ahead and hide. All right, okay, cool. So, folks, we got to kill time for a little bit longer, and I see a few more questions have queued up, so let me go on ahead and throw one on the screen. Looks like Force of Glass. Thoughts on Unsettled, comparison to other board game experiences. I just filmed my run-through for it this weekend, actually, and if you are a subscriber of the show on Patreon, there's a certain level where you get to see stuff, days, weeks, even months early ahead of time. So, what can I say about it? Okay, well, I won't bury the lead. It is retroactively in my top 10 games of the year 2021. It is so good. Jen and I were both so blown away by Unsettled. We have tried 3 different planets now, just the first mission on 3 different ones, and so blown away by the creativity, the boundless joy that the theme of the game encapsulates. It just makes us happy. It's really smart Euro-y gameplay, dice worker placement stuff, great presentation. Normally, I'm not a big game trays guy. I mean, I appreciate why people like them, but here, it's so wonderfully done, so well put together. And like I said, when I eventually, probably in May, do my follow-up final top 10 games of 2021, I'm almost positive Unsettled will make that list. It's that good. I was really very, very impressed. Okay, let's see here. What do we got next? We have Body Belly says, what game do I wish was available right now, which is not currently out of print or not widely released yet? Well, shoot. Be sure to ask that same question for Ruel. I'm sure he'll do some Q&A or what have you. But for me, it's the easy go-to answer for that, because we kind of brought it up a little while ago when we were talking about Matai, is Glory to Rome. And in all honesty, I actually say that personally. I wish Glory to Rome would come back. I've got mine, Jack. I think both Jen and I love our black box one with like the really spare, geometric art. And I'm happy about it, but I've had that game for a long time. It is beat to crap. I would like a fresh, new copy with beautiful art from Vincent Dutray or somebody. I wish that would happen. But I mean, that's the easy answer. Probably, the one that might actually happen someday. I do not understand why Tuco Takalia's Walnut Grove has been out of print for so long. He's the designer of Eclipse. And as far as I'm concerned, Walnut Grove is superior to Eclipse. I've got my copy. It's right over there, right behind Boon Lake. I absolutely adore it. Amazing tile laying worker placement rondelle game with really good stuff. And it's unfortunate. It came out the same year that Eclipse did. And you would think, people are saying Eclipse, we should go check out this other thing, but Eclipse was enough for everybody, so it just kind of withered and died and never really got the love it should have, because it's fantastic. It's basically Little House on the Prairie, the board game, in the best possible way. So those would be a couple I would think of. Okay, let's see here. Then we've got Ruckus is asking, Sid Meier, video games, Civ, or Pirates? I feel like that got asked last week. Oh, you're asking about the video games. I'm sorry. It's a shame Ruel isn't here. Maybe he could ask, but I have not played a video game in years, and I have never played any of this. I have never played any game by Sid Meier. I sat next to him on a bus in Atlanta, Georgia one year, back when E3, the Electronic Entertainment Expo, was in Atlanta for a few years, and we were both at the same hotel, and we chatted on the bus, and I knew who he was, and I just tried to play it cool that I'd never actually played any of his games. I don't know, maybe he thought that was cool that for once he didn't have somebody just like, oh, I love Pirates so much, and oh my gosh, Civilization. I'm just like, hey, so what are you working on now? And I just played it cool, which is much better than the one time I met David Crane, the designer from the original early days of Activision who made Pitfall, and I made myself a blithering, blubbering idiot, just falling all over myself, doing an unfortunate hero worship, and it was really bad and embarrassing because it was in an elevator, and I should have waited until the elevator ride was over, so it would have been over really quick, as opposed to me just like blathering like an idiot, and then it kind of drifting off, and then we had to sit there in silence for another 10 seconds. And then we were both going the same direction. And I'm going to go off to the bathroom now. But anyway, yeah. So I'm sorry. I've never played a single Sid Meier game. I'm aware of them, but yeah, I can't speak to that. Let's see here. What do we got? Push the button. Nishobo asks, how would I describe a Euro game? It's interesting. I mean, a Euro game is definitely one of those, okay, you'll know it when you see it kind of things. But to me, the thing that really defines a Euro game more than anything else is a focus on economy, actually. Because, years ago, I did a top 10 economic games with Tom Vassell. And as I was doing it, I was having a really hard time. Where are all the economic games? Because at that time, I was thinking, they need to be about literal stock markets and money and stuff like that. But after I'd finished that list, and I'm unsatisfied with that list, I went and actually looked up economy. And really, for me, a good Euro game is one that is all about it's an economic simulation of a time or place. There's stuff about there's little randomness or there's no conflict. I think you can have randomness and conflict in a Euro. That's not what defines it for me. What defines it for me is that these are, by and large, studies of economics. And that doesn't have to just mean money changing hands. That means goods and services. That means converting goods into other goods. That means using things to achieve goals. That's what a good, to me, they're synonymous. A top 10 economics games is saying top 10 Euro games to me. And I think I'm probably very much in the minority, but that's how I tend to think of it. Okay. Let's see. Force of Glass asks about these little guys. Did I choose the critter? No. Honestly, it was just the weirdest thing. I got a contact. I don't remember who it was from or which company they were with. It might have been an intermediary, actually, now that I think about it, and said, hey, they're doing a run of, would you like to get one? And I thought, oh, that'd be cool. But I didn't think about it again. They never talked to me about it again. And then these just showed up in the mail one day, and that was not what I expected. And I'm looking at them. Does it say on the side of that box? I have 3 cartons. There are, according to the side of that box, you can't see, there are 1,100 of these in each box. So in theory, I have over 3,000 of these things. So I got to figure out something. We'll figure something out. And it starts at Dice Tower West Convention, where we'll be, swing over to Jen's booth. And we haven't even figured out what we have to do to get them. Maybe, I don't know. We'll figure something out. But anyway, so I had nothing to do with that. But when I saw them, I was super pleased. It is really cleverly done. It would have been nice if it was a bear, though. But still, I think it's awesome. Alrighty. Forest of Glass circles back, wondering about the replayability of Unsettled. I think so. The reality is, each one of the, each planet, I think there are 6 missions if you get all the expansions. There's more now because it's on Kickstarter again right now. I think they added 2 more planets. Each planet has 3 missions. Each mission stands on its own. And you're going to play, you're going to lose, you're going to play it a second time, you're going to win. You're going to get that kind of thing. I think they will still be worth playing because the first time you play it, it's for that sense of exploration and discovery and what's going to happen. Once you know what's going to happen, you can still play it again because there's different ways to increase the difficulty to make, okay, I know what I need to do. I just have to do it really well. I do not have the cushion of exploring. So it's like if you could think back to the first time you ever played Pandemic, there was a real sense of discovery. Look at how all these things work together and how they come together and what happens when you draw this card or that card or the other thing. But after you played it enough times, You know what's going to happen, but there's still enough reason to play it there. And I believe Unsettled has a comparable level of replayability. I can't say that 100% because so far I've been playing new stuff. But I am relatively confident that it would be engaging because, well, I talk about this some in the final thoughts, but there's so much content in there. Even if you're playing the exact same mission, the combination of how you will discover things in the world and the scientific breakthroughs that you make and the way these things combine in so many cool and unexpected ways. I mean, it's a very sandboxy game, which is not normally something I go for, but here I love it. I'm a big Unsettled booster. Alrighty. Oh, we got to hurry up because I'm sure Ruel's ready to go. So it looks like I've got 3 more. What are some of my top heavier games that Jen and I like to play when adding, where you enjoy adding the solo player system to? That's a good top 10. Off the top of my head, Fresco. Fresco's not super heavy though. But Fresco and what did we just play the other day? Great Wall has a fantastic. Great Wall my run through for that is coming very soon as well. You've already seen it if you back me on Patreon, but it'll show up publicly soon. That has a phenomenal. It's a very heavy game, and the way that they implement a third player that players can kind of take control over and use to their benefit is brilliantly done. Fresco is great. I'm still a big fan of the way Seven Wonders does it too. But we don't have enough time to break them down. Ask again in the future, maybe when there's more time. All right, seeing Gutenberg on yourself. Did I see Impressions by A Game, same designer of Ave Roma? No, I have not seen that one. But Ave Roma was pretty cool. Last question, will I be going to Essen Spiel if COVID allows? Probably not, because we weren't going. I mean, it's just too expensive. We loved going. We love seeing people. We have friends who go there all the time. We actually stay with a friend on a couch crash. Love everything about it. But now we would not love the whatever it is, 10, 12, 14-hour flight there and back that would cost hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And so someday we will get back to Essen, but probably not till we move back to Europe, quite frankly, and retire in Old Blighty. Okay, we've done it. I hit all your questions. I now have to hit the raid button because Ruel's probably wondering, come on, what's going on here? So go give him a raid. And after he's done, go say hi to Ryan, who is finishing his big epic cosplay series on the Expedition Leaders for Lost Ruins of Arnak. But let us go on ahead and start this raid in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, raid. And tell him Rahdo sent you. I know you'll do that. Let's see. Hopefully this works. And is it working? Did it work? I see no evidence that it actually worked. Did it work? You're still talking to me. It didn't work, did it? I used Raid Ruel Gaviola. You're still here. You can actually see that. All right, well, let's try it again. Second time's the charm. I thought that was a bit suspicious because one of the windows that normally comes up didn't come up, and I had to push a different window instead. Let's try this again. Start the raid. Something went wrong. All right, try doing it manually. Raid Ruel Gaviola. Let's see if... All right, I already have a raid in progress. It was canceled. Oh, this happened. The very first time I ever tried to raid, this happened. Oh my gosh. So, right. So, quick action again. Try running that quick action again later. And if I try to manually do it, raid Ruel Gaviola. I already have a raid in progress. So it's canceled. It's not going anywhere. Oh my gosh. Ruel, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. Let's see here. Yeah, I can't raid anybody. I'm just looking around on other channels. It just says, sorry, it failed. Raid knights around a table. Or no, it goes around. / raid knights round a table. Will you do that? Nope, won't do that either. Oh, folks. Oh, Ruel, I'm so sorry. / raid. Maybe just wait a second. And he does put capitals in. Maybe that'll make a difference. I have a raid in progress. No, I don't. Crap. Oh, that's so terrible. That's so terrible. What, does anybody have any idea what I can do here? Raid thingy not working. I see your people are sending messages to Ruel. I could stop and then restart, and I think I would still hold on to some of you, and then we could raid. I was hoping maybe if I just waited a few minutes. Let's see, if I refresh this page, maybe if I refresh this page. So it reloads, brings the raid button back up, and then maybe it'll work. That would be cool. When in doubt, reboot, right? Let's see. Raid, Ruel Gaviola, start the raid, try running again later. Yes. We definitely need a widget to figure this out. Oh, shoot. All right. Well, tell you what we're going to do, folks. I'm going to end the stream. Stay here for a second. No, I mean, what's the point? Everybody, manually raid! Go up to the search thing and type in Ruel Gaviola, one word, and you can go watch him. Oh, that is so terrible. Raid, Ruel Gaviola. You already have a raid in progress. No, I don't, you piece of garbage. Wait, let's see. Are there any raid parameters I can put in here? /raid. Raid. No, I like end, cancel. All right, can I cancel a raid? Is there a command I can, let's see. Click to the internet. Let's see here. Twitch. Command to cancel raid. How to use raids, chat commands, ending a raid. Is there another way to end a raid without stopping or starting another hosting? Nope, I don't see anything that would let me do this. Just because it's just supposed to work. Click on the box, click the buttons, do the thing. All right, click on the cancel button. All right, okay, I'll try that. This is my last ditch effort. I can push the button. I can say raid. Oh wait, it's working! It's working! It's working! Hopefully you stuck around, folks. In 3, 2, 1, go! Oh, what the heck? It seems to have worked. I believe, yes. That was annoying. Okay. There we go. All right. And thanks for watching, everybody. See you next week. Talk to you later. So long. Bye-bye.